Well, happy Friday, everybody. Hope everything's
Happy
going
Friday, happy
good.
Friday.
Hope everybody made it um, through another week. It's a little stormy here, but it's starting to finally kind of calm down just in time for the live stream. I got a very special guest. I know most of y'all have interacted with him in the chat. He's here quite a bit, and I'm happy to talk to him and kind of hammer down on collecting and kind of invite him to plug his stuff because he's got some pretty interesting content as well. This is Chill Collects. Chill, tell him a little bit about yourself, man.
So pretty much my content primarily focuses on just pretty much just game pickups. I mostly kind of focus on Nintendo Switch pickups, but recently kind of been showing off other pickups that I don't really show them off in the videos because, like I said, I kind of try to focus my channel on just Nintendo Switch. But recently, I've been kind of trying something new and using what's it called, like using or showing off other game pickups for other consoles, and I guess people kind of seem to like that stuff too, so
Oh,
I just
pickup, yeah,
trying something
pickup
out new.
content
So
is always pickup content's always pretty good. But I know the struggle. The struggle is real. Part of it is like I'm a fucking Nintendo Switch channel that is 90% Morrowind content. So I
oh yeah.
so I
I
know
see
how
that,
that
yeah.
is. Yeah, every now and then I'll do the Morrowind content, but no, in general, actually, I think it's more of a Nintendo Switch channel that also features a pod that's 90% podcast. Actually, if I'm being honest. Now, I have laid out a game plan to get back into actual video content, and I'm hoping to have at least 5 reviews done this summer to get back on track. It's
Oh
just,
yeah.
they're just, man, my reviews are just a pain in the ass to write, homie. They're just a pain in the ass to write.
No,
It's
but
not they're not
go ahead, go ahead.
it's not that they're not fun. It's just that they're so fucking time consuming, man. Ugh.
I bet. I know. I feel. I don't think I could ever see myself doing a review. Just because of I've seen other people do review videos and they kind of really go in depth, kind of like how you go in depth.
Yeah.
And I just can't personally do that. I don't know if it is just probably just me, right? But I just
Well,
can't. I probably forget on the spot while I'm doing the review, and I'm like, oh, what? I knew I probably had stuff to say, and I just probably just mess it up. But I know a lot of people kind of like write it out, and they have their process, and I don't see myself doing that. But I do enjoy the reviews, which I appreciate those people that do reviews because it's kind of like, all right, I know I can't do this, but at least I can see their content and see how they do the reviews, and I enjoy them so much. Like I enjoyed I didn't finish seeing it, but I enjoyed your Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition one that I started playing it, and I'm like, okay, I see what Zoo's playing because then I started watching videos on it, and I kind of started spoiling myself, and I'm like, no, 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 I gotta play it
yeah,
myself
gotta
just
be
to
careful,
experience
and,
it.
and and that's one of the good things about what I do. I'll never spoil any major. Never will.
Yeah,
If I do, I'll literally put it like spoilers or like in the actual thumbnail. I want people to know that going in because a lot of the experience in these modern games is kind of narrative focused. To be fair,
yeah,
and again, if you would have told me 20 years ago that I would enjoy that style of fucking content, I would have told you, I would have laughed at you. But here we are. I mean, as you get more and more busy with life and work and business, eventually what you want to do is you just kind of want to slow your roll and relax a little bit when you're playing video games.
yeah.
You don't want that tactile, super tough arcade gameplay. Although I still play the occasional shmup, as you saw, like with Esprit Sai, etc. But yeah, now of course I'm trying to moonlight as a Trails guy. I just finished Trails from Zero. Gonna have a lot to say about that. Very good underrated JRPG series.
I hear that a lot. I do have a couple of Trails games on in my collection. I collect them. I say I'm an NIS guy, but the reality is that I just have too many NIS titles in a collection with I didn't even know. And the ones that kind of like I've gravitated to, well, what started it was the Trails series. I've seen a lot of people talk about. It started off with Trails of Cold Steel,
Hmm.
and then from there on, it kind of just progressed. And then from there, I wanted to start finding all these Trails games on the Switch, but they're kind of hard to find. So, but
Well, that's the thing. Like,
I
yeah,
know
if
they're
you're collecting, it's probably a good thing that you have NIS games because you're not going to find NIS games, or they're damn near a limited print company, man. They're
yeah,
damn near.
they really are, and that's why I'm kind of like I've recently what I used to do is I would buy games day one. That was last year. I was when I was kind of getting into really heavily and collecting for the Switch. I was buying games day one, and as I mean, everybody, there's no right or wrong way of collecting, but I kind of saw myself spending so much money on games that I wasn't playing day one.
Hmm.
So I definitely slowed it down a lot this year, and I kind of more focused on finding deals. Whenever GameStop has those deals where specific publishers have sales at GameStop. So I remember when the NIS games titles were on sale at GameStop, I picked up Reverie and Rhapsody for like $25, and they were brand new, I think. And those game like NIS titles, they definitely don't go on sale that much. They're either they don't go on sale or they're just not in stock. They go out of stock right away. So and that's where I kind of struggle if I want to pick up those titles day one or not, or especially from NIS because those games aftermarket they're pretty expensive. So
Hmm. Yeah, they're damn near a limited print company. Damn near, not quite, but they're close. In terms of what they do. But let's talk about that a little bit because yeah, you've got a pretty good system nailed down in terms of your pickups and your collecting. And you talk about that. Like I wasn't aware until I was watching your videos that there actually is like a rhyme and reason to GameStop sales. Now, do you come across now? How did you come across that? Is that just deep dive research, or did you work for GameStop, or how did you discover that? 'Cause that's pretty interesting. The discovery process I always find on how somebody comes to a cool thing. Like, have you ever seen like Caesar in the estate sales? It's kind of the same thing where it's like it's just something I did not know about. And so we've all read different books. We all have different experiences. I'm kind of curious as to how you came across that system.
yeah, so I would say I got it mostly from I guess yeah, I kind of researched, but I'd probably give the credit to other YouTubers on the channel on YouTube here. One of the big ones that I kind of watch is Cincy Game Hunting. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but
No.
um, he pretty much, and even now, he kind of stopped uploading on YouTube, but he still posts. He's very active on social media still, like on
Okay.
Instagram. So he's a really cool guy. He tries to look out for everybody, I guess, and share these deals. So whenever he comes across deals, that's how I kind of find out as well. Or sometimes, because he looks at GameStop or other stores, I kind of started looking at GameStop myself. So he kind of inspired me to like, all right, I gotta be every Sunday. If you didn't know, so on Sundays, GameStop does a new set of deals. That's when the new set of deals start for
Okay.
GameStop is on Sunday. So starting Sunday of every week, a new set of deals come out.
Okay.
That's how I kind of found out through Cincy Game Hunting. He kind of like put it out there, and then I just started doing my own thing, right? So, and I just kind of really just sometimes I'm just scrolling through the website almost like an hour or two just looking to see what's on sale or not. And if I notice like a pattern or something, I'm like, all right, so I guess these titles from certain publishers are on sale, or even like when GameStop does like their trade-in extra boost credit,
Yeah.
that's when I kind of also take advantage of that and taking games that I don't play or games for systems that I have extras of. Because sometimes I come across extras or doubles and I'm like, all right, they're giving like a 50% boost towards a game that I want, and I'll just do that, and I kind of just save myself some money. So, but pretty much, I would say I researched a lot through other YouTubers on here that have been doing it a lot longer than I have. I probably just started not even a year ago, maybe a little bit less than a year, when I kind of started really focusing on GameStop deals. But yeah, that's how. I mean, I guess that's how I kind of started when collecting for the Switch. Or that's how I'm doing Switch collecting now. Is when GameStop does deals because I really don't go hunting for games like on Facebook Market or OfferUp.
Right.
It's kind of really hard because it's so saturated with like competition. So it's like I guess I'll just stick to GameStop, and GameStop somewhat kind of stays fair on price. I'd rather pay them, especially because I am a pro member. So if I buy from them, I do get more, or I get points and stuff that
Yeah,
I
they,
could
they get you the
later
points
on.
that helps you later on with other purchases, shit like that, right?
Yeah.
So I got to tell you, so there's, oftentimes in YouTube, like I've often said, YouTube is going to really be a revolution in the way we do things. And like, early on, I was always a fan of what YouTube did, right? And one of the reasons for that is I see it has high potential to replace a lot of things. So, for example, you don't know how much money that YouTube has saved me on fucking plumbing and house repairs and all that shit. Just because you can literally, if you, let's say you got like I had a sink that was leaky, right? Just type in how to fix leaky bathroom sink. And sure enough, sure as shit, there's a video right there that shows you how to kind of take your handle off, and there's like this little ring. You go to that, you take that ring into Home Depot or wherever the fuck you got in the area, and you go. It'll show you exactly how to replace it. It'll tell you the tools you need that you can get online if you need be, and that would have a plumber would have broke that off in your ass for $300 easily. $300 reduced gone. But I was able to fix the same thing for like $12. So that's the kind of shit. And I kind of see. So there's YouTube has a couple of purposes. A lot of people, of course, the entertainment value, but there's utility. There's utility and there's entertainment. And sometimes they can be both. But I actually feel like YouTube does dual duties. And your channel certainly, along with being entertaining, has that utility function. There's some channels that are just fucking useful. Orbitology. Have you seen Emily's channel? With like
Yes, I'm
navigating
very
Japanese,
familiar.
yeah, Japanese auction sites. And
Yeah,
like,
very familiar.
yeah, so
Oh
there's
yeah.
so there's all kinds of channels that have that kind of utility, and I always love those kind of channels because it just helps us out. None of us have the answers to everything, but collectively together, I think we can get the answers to a whole lot. And like I said, I didn't know shit about these kind of GameStop sales, but you did help me. You've helped me quite a bit in kind of navigating that and saved me a little bit of money on those things. Aside from Nintendo games, because those fucking things never go on sale unless it's a 150
Yeah.
game. But
Yeah, those are the ones that people always have trouble.
I gave
Definitely
up.
it's Nintendo. Yeah, Nintendo never really has sales on their stuff.
Yeah, I
I
gave
only
up.
got lucky
Yeah,
in one time. I just got lucky at a Walmart where I found all those clearance Nintendo Switch games. But the only reason they had them on clearance was because the store was remodeling, so they were trying to move less inventory over to the like it's in another area of the store, and that's how I was able to get like a bunch of. I got like a bunch of games for the Switch for
no,
like half price.
it was
Like,
a good deal, but it would sure help if they put the fucking cart in the box, wouldn't
oh yeah, that was one. Yeah, that one really bummed me out. That
Three houses,
game,
wasn't it?
I was yeah, three, yeah, it was three
Damn!
houses. I was very excited. So I had actually owned that game already.
Holy
I
shit, that
just
sucks.
I had beat it, and then I had traded it in for another. This was last year. I had traded it in for another game that they were giving me a boost on
Hmm.
because I wanted the other game. So this time I wanted to get it for the collection and to keep. And my thing is like when I'm now that I'm doing the longer videos, I kind of just wait till the end of the month or when I'm recording the video to check
Right.
if the games or just to show them off. And what happened? Well, I was doing the video and then I noticed that the packaging was really loose, like the plastic was loose on it, and I'm like, no way. And I had seen a comment a couple weeks ago, somebody saying, well, be careful because sometimes the Switch carts are missing. And sure enough, I check it and the cart was missing, and it was just a whole thing. I was like, man, I didn't even want to. I was just like, I'm out $30, and I tried to go back to get my money back, but they just because it had been more than I think the
Right.
the policy or something is like 2 weeks, I guess,
Sure, and we
and it
don't
had been
always
over
check.
a
We don't
month.
always check
So
our game cards. We just kind of trust something. Sometimes we're trustworthy.
yeah, so I guess essentially I just paid full price for the game because I bought another copy at that same store for $30. So now I have.
Nintendo strikes again. This time with a little
Yeah, they got
shenanigan
me.
for
Yeah,
me.
they were like, all right. Yeah, they were like, you can get all these other games, but Fire Emblem,
Yeah.
you're
If
not getting it. You're getting it for full price. So
outside of Black Friday, like honestly, sometimes on Black Friday you can find some slight sales on Nintendo games, but in general, if I want a Nintendo game, I just get the shit at full price. That's one I just it's like I fucking know that you guys will hold that fucking bag till the eagle screams, and I'm not gonna mess around with it. It's like whatever.
oh yeah, definitely. Like one that surprises me still that still sells for full price is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for the Switch.
60
I've been
bucks.
wanting I've been wanting that game for the collection, but I just can't see myself paying $60 for the game. You know, it's a port from the Wii U. So
It's very good. Yeah,
I
I will
I,
tell you,
I
it's a very good game. But I can say that. So a little bit about how, and then I'm kind of curious how you kind of gauge this too. A little bit about how I shop for games, etc. Now, like I said, I'm not. I've got enough fuck you money to where if I want a game, I'm not going to wait for it. Not going to wait for a deal. But with third party publishers on the Switch, they tend to go on sale quite a bit. So I do kind of hold my bag a little bit. In general, one of the things that I talk about and why I review games the way I review games, everything I review, not only do I buy it, but I also kind of mention the price I paid for it. I think that's important in factoring in your game's experience. That's just me. Because
yeah
if you like, one of my biggest critiques of modern gaming journalism or game journalism in general is they don't pay for the fucking game. And so this has a couple of problems that arise for me. First problem
hmm
is that there's no skin in the game there. So how easy is it to ridicule a game, or that is that is maybe not as bad as you're making it out to be, but how easy is it for you to just shit all over a game, or even worse, how easy is it for you to praise a game and give a game a good score when you don't actually have that 50, 60, 70 fucking dollars for some games now? You don't have that skin in the game. So
yeah
I'll give you a good example of this. Back when I got my PlayStation 3, and this was a system I rarely ever use, but I did use it for, it was basically a Dark Souls machine, right? And a rock,
okay yeah
and a rock band machine. But one of the things that I remember being very excited about at the time because was Final Fantasy 13. Okay.
hmm
Now, the problem with this is the last Final Fantasy game I had played was Final Fantasy 6 on the Super Nintendo.
oh
So
yeah, I've
I
heard.
I want you to imagine for a second going from Final Fantasy 6, one of the best fucking games of all time, and then and a game that basically opens up into an open world experience. Let's not bullshit on the tail end, to this
Yeah,
beautifully rendered fucking tube that goes nowhere, full of characters I hated. And I'll never forget that. But here's the thing I'll never forget. It's what kind of cemented the way I review games. I coped so hard trying to like that goddamn game, dude. You have
yeah.
no idea. Like I gaslit myself into thinking, well, just stick with it, Zoo. Just stick with it, man. It'll get better. Or hey,
Only because it was Final Fantasy.
and because I had paid $50 as a college student.
Yeah, that too.
That fucking hurt. And so because I had that money locked in, but my point is, a reviewer who gets that game for free and gets their system for free, they'll never have that experience. They'll never have the
Yeah.
experience of gaslighting themselves into thinking a game is good until suddenly one day I logged in. It was like chapter 9, and I'm just like, I'm not having fun. Oh my God, I'm not having fun with this. This needs to go back while I can still get anything for this game. And I took it back to GameStop. Like,
Yeah, I heard.
yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, go ahead. Sorry, I was all done.
No, I was just gonna say because I've never, at the time, I probably was, I want to say in middle school when that
Oh
one came
shit, you're
out,
young.
and and that one, I heard a lot of people really didn't like it, and the one thing that I only know about it was that it was very linear,
Mm-hmm.
and that it was just like such a bad game. I think the only thing I saw about it that made me watch it, because at the time, back in YouTube, Freddie I think that's his name. He made a joke about it, and it was like he was forcing. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he was like the special effects guy back then in YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and he made I guess a joke about Final Fantasy 13 where he made his buddy forced him to play through Final Fantasy 13, and that it was so bad. Basically, he was just trying to show that the game was not good. So,
Yeah,
and I was like, well, I guess that game's not good.
it's a walking simulator with an interesting battle system, is what it is.
But I mean, were the other ones? Because I know they had like Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 13-2, and Lightning's Return. Were those the same thing, or?
I hear 2 is actually the best of the 3. I hear it's actually pretty good, actually. Final Fantasy 3 is a fucking disaster of such magnitude that I can't even describe it. That is Final Fantasy 3. I actually grabbed out of a bargain bin at Walmart. So I did the same thing you did.
Yeah.
And I got that game for $9, like after the new systems had already come out. And I still wasn't happy with that game. Bought it as a Bomba bin game. Still wasn't happy with it.
Final Fantasy 3 is Final Fantasy on the Game Boy Advance, right? It's the one where you
So,
start off in the robot, like you're in the mix or something.
well,
Is it
that's
that one?
Final Fantasy 3/6. So yeah, in North America it was Final Fantasy 3 because they skipped 2, probably a good idea, and they skipped 3, which was kind of a tragedy, and they went straight to 4. And so 4 was 2 over here, and 6 was 3, and they also skipped 5. And instead,
Okay.
we got fucking Mystic Quest because they're sitting there. The Japanese are like, yeah, these fucking American gamers are too stupid to play Final Fantasy 5. This is a hard game, so
Oh no.
we'll give them Mystic Quest. Never mind that we invented the fucking RPG genre, Ultima and Wizardry. You motherfuckers, come on.
But is it wasn't I'm wasn't didn't Final Fantasy branch out to didn't it like create other like didn't the Mana series come from Final Fantasy or
Sort of, yeah, sort of. So yeah, it was originally branded as Final Fantasy Adventure in the United States. Once again, because they didn't want to confuse us dumb Americans. That was the thinking at the time. Um, and so it became Final Fantasy Adventure. But in Japan, it was the Seiken Dentetsu series. Is what it was
okay,
known as.
okay.
But
Cuz I
yeah, they're sister
yeah,
games
cuz I
for sure.
okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean I would have
same with
figured
what was it? Same with oh my god, I can't think of it, but it's Romancing Saga. Same thing with the Saga games.
oh yeah, the Saga series, yeah.
Which is weird, which is very weird. So that's where the Final Fantasy 2 director went, is to work on Saga shit. You know, that game where you have to beat the shit out of each other in order to raise your HP.
Yeah, I'm personally not too familiar with the Saga series. I think
Me neither.
it, personally, I think at a young age, the only thing I'm pretty sure everybody that played RPGs or the thing that was RPG back then was the Pokemon. Like that's what
Yes,
I started off with, I
yes,
guess. You know, I started off with Soul Silver, so that's my. I guess I would consider that my introduction to RPGs, turn
right.
based. So
Now
that's how I kind of just
what's your
got into it.
cornerstone game? What's the game that got you into this and made you say, "Yep, I want to be a gamer"? What was that game?
I would probably say Pokemon Silver. That would probably be
It's a good
the game
choice.
that got me into games because um I got it for my birthday, and not only I had gotten Pokemon Silver, and on top of that, I had gotten like this for the Game Boy Color. They made these little lights um that kind of just like you could play at night. So sorry about the background. It was
To this day, Johto region is my favorite Pokemon region. I think it's
yeah,
so
I like the
interesting.
yeah Johto. I would say it's probably my personal favorite as well. I love Cyndaquil. Cyndaquil is like my favorite starter. Um, Typhlosion, probably one of the coolest
I was a Cyndaquil guy.
final evolutions.
Yeah, I was
But
always a
yeah,
Cyndaquil guy.
I would say yeah. Pokemon was the thing that got me into gaming, and I guess because it was such a memorable thing back then. Getting it for my birthday, I got it.
I'll tell you, there is some memories with that. I'll never forget when I got the Pokemon Blue version for one of my birthdays. I forget which birthday it was, but I'll never forget unwrapping that, and like I'll never forget the manual and the art style of the manual and how fucking cool that all was. I mean, it really kind of brought it to
Yeah,
life in your head as well, man.
Yeah, my first so I grew up watching Pokemon the series, Kanto region, but I only played well, I started off with Silver, and then when the GBA came out, I had bought they had released, or when Fire Red came out, that's whenever I guess first played. I never played the original Fire Red back then until I only played Fire Red. So Fire Red was when I finally got introduced to, I guess, the Kanto region in game form, I guess. So I started off with Johto and then went to I guess Kanto when I moved over to the GBA. So
How fucking cool was it to watch that world slowly expand over the course of the games?
oh, it was insane. I thought when I beat Silver and I went to Kanto,
Oh, it was
I was like,
awesome.
what?
That was
Like I thought there was like a whole new I guess more time I got to put into the game, right? But it's only like, I think it's only the Battle Frontier or something like that. You can only do, I think you can do the gyms, but it's pretty quick. So
yeah, it's much quicker. There's not like a whole quest and shit in Kanto. It's basically just going city to city and knocking the gym leaders out, and then going and beating Ash Ketchum's ass.
oh yeah, Red. Yeah, that was probably one of the coolest. Well, in Fire Red, I think it's they do a whole little scene or something. They build up to it because he's like
Yeah,
the strongest on there.
yeah.
So
How trippy was
um,
that? Like fighting your main character from Red and Blue. That was a moment. I'll tell you.
that was insane. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was a cool moment back then.
Yeah, and I
Um,
love the thought they put into his actual team makeup. Like basically,
yeah.
it's like he had all three starters. He had a really
Oh yeah.
strong Pikachu, a
Yeah.
Snorlax, and an
A
Evolution.
Snorlax. Yeah, the Snorlax is the one that I think I remember the most because I think that's the one that gives me the hardest time
Well, yeah,
out of
rest.
the whole team.
Yeah, you can't knock it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Ash's Snorlax was brutal. For sure, man.
Yeah, and then after that, I think I would say the well the N64. I had both N64 and the Game Boy Color at the same time,
Right.
but
So you got to play
the
that
Soul Silver
Battle
was,
League or whatever it was.
yeah, Pokemon Stadium.
Stadium. That's
Well,
it.
actually, so on the 64, I don't think I had any of the, like, the big titles that pretty much everybody had, like Mario 64, Pokemon Stadium. I only went to those, or even Super Smash Brothers. I had to go to my friend's house to go play those. But that's probably like the only way to play those games is like with your, like, Super Smash Brothers on the 64, 4 players. That's
Yeah,
probably the
it
best
had
way
a
to play
single
that one.
player, but it was rudimentary as fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like personally in my collection when I was younger, I had Clay Fighters, 63 and the third,
Oh wow. Okay.
Snowboarding Kids too. Those are kind of the games that I kind of played the most. It's what we had at the time, but they're very kind of like they're very nostalgic to me because that's pretty much what I played most of the time.
Well, yeah,
Snowboarding Kids too
it's the
was like,
same experience that I think we all have early on. Basically, we play what the parents have. That's what we play. So
yeah,
I got
and
a box of NES games that Dad brought home. Good thing the box had some good games because what was in that box, that was what we played. What was in the box was in the box. Um,
yeah,
with few exceptions. Like we bought a couple of new NES games, but yeah, in general, like it was the hand me down box. Dad got it from one of his buddies in the army, and what was in the box was what was in the box. Now again, Zelda 2, Gunsmoke. By the way, you want to talk about an underrated shoot 'em up game for the NES? Fucking Gunsmoke is outstanding. Best pause music in the world. Battletoads can go suck one. Seriously, I
yeah. A
swear
lot
to
of
you.
people use Battletoads. I need to check that Gunsmoke soundtrack then.
Yeah, actually, it's quick enough. I'll find it and play the pause. The pause menu is amazing in that game. So you're in the middle of a big. I want to set the stage though. You're in the middle of a giant gunfight, right?
Hmm.
Let's see. And Gunsmoke, OSTNES, pause. We'll say. And then yeah, it's there's the soundtrack list. So yeah, weapon select is the pause. Yeah, okay. That's it. Actually, the whole soundtrack is lit as fuck. I
Yeah.
think this was either Capcom or Konami did this game, and it's amazing, but it's not wanting to work here with me right now. Okay, can I? Okay, there was a delay on that for some reason, probably because we're fucking streaming. By the way, got Brick Barnes in the house, and we've got Inferno Fox Gaming in the house. What's going on, guys? Thanks for
Hey, what's up? What's up?
coming in on a fun Friday. I know there's a lot going on Friday, so I appreciate you guys stopping in. Um, all right, so how do we do this? This is always fun. We want to share screen, um, but we want to share it through this tab. And like I said, it's like a 6-second loop, so this won't take too long. Chat won't
Okay.
hear it from my experience. They can't ever hear when I try to pipe audio in, but that's okay. So we're going to share screen, and so it's kind of a double share screen here,
Okay.
and we are going to share. There it is, Gunsmoke. That's the fucking pause music.
Oh yeah. It's it's one of those where it's kind of like um you've heard it before, but you just don't know where it came from, and I kind of feel like that's where
Yeah, that's well. And Battletoads also has a
I feel like
balance when it's like a boonch, boonch, boonch. Like this when you pause. But think about that. Like instead of just hearing nothing, like there was actually pause music when you played. It was awesome.
yeah, like I think one of the most iconic ones that everybody talks about that I remember is the 007 GoldenEye, the pause
Yes,
music.
yes, like the
That's the
slowed
one that
down.
everybody
Yeah,
it definitely brings back memories.
kind of the
Yeah.
slowed down themes that were present in the action. Yeah, GoldenEye was lit. As much flack as I give those 3ds, those early 3D systems, GoldenEye was a lit experience. I had a lot of fun with the shooters in general. I had a lot of fun with the FPSs in that era. Whether we're talking about that or Time Splitters, Future Perfect, Perfect Dark, I feel like there was
Yeah,
some really good shmups in that era.
there was. I think the one that I played the most was probably GoldenEye with my friends. We would always go to his house and we do like just chops. What like where you don't use any guns at all, just chopping each other,
Yeah,
or where we just set up mines. Just throwing
yeah.
out
I
mines out
was
in the
I
floor.
was
That's
fucking untouchable with proximity mines in the stack, brother. I was not to brag, but I was untouchable.
yeah. It's just it always brought up a lot of laughs. That's what made the game so just so great. Just how funny it was or how fun it was just to mess around in it.
Well, and then he had Perfect Dark, and it had like the different AI sims, and so we would set up like 8 sims against us, make them all peace sims. Which do you remember what peace sims did?
No.
Peace sims would go around and they would chop you, and when you chopped in Perfect Dark, it disarmed you. And so, literally, what peace sims would do is they didn't like violence. That was the AI they had. And so they would run around collecting all the weapons, and anybody who had a weapon, they would knock it out of your hands and take it. So when you would kill these
Oh,
bastards, they would just explode and like a ton of guns just flying everywhere. But good luck doing that because you can't kill with a slap. You can only kill with guns. And there's like 8 of these motherfuckers trying to take all your weapons away from you. And so the goal was to just try to get some weapons, any weapons, and then hole up somewhere and just blast the fuck out of them as they came to try to slap the shit out of you and disarm you. And it was
yeah.
it's so funny.
That definitely sounded like fun. I wish we had that game. I think you needed the expansion pack, right, for
You
that one?
did,
Or
yeah. The weird
yeah,
same with DK64, and which I never had
that
that
was
one.
that. Yeah, that was the one thing that I think I remember one time. Back we lived really close to a Hollywood Video,
Hmm.
so we would go pick up games on Fridays. And the one game that I had picked up because I had wanted to play was DK64. But for some reason, I think they were supposed to include the expansion pack, but they never put it in there. So when we got the game and we were trying to play it, it would never play. We could never play it. So we had to, we returned back and said like, hey, we can't even play this game. So we're bringing it back. We can't even. we can't enjoy it because we need some expansion pack or something.
Yeah,
But
it'll
they
literally
never. I
stop
guess
it
they
and won't
never.
let you play.
Yeah, so it's like, come on, like we can even play. They didn't even include the expansion pack, but yeah, we I think that was probably another thing that got me really into gaming, that I was kind of like fortunate enough to live, like I literally like live next to a Hollywood Video and Game Crazy. So, whenever we got
You've
games, we
heard me
just
talk about those. Yeah, for sure, they're great.
yeah, so it's like I definitely can understand where you're coming from, because we were like right there, like the GameStop and Hollywood Video stores are right there in that same little store plaza thing, and that's where we would go for video games. That's where we rent movies and rent out the games, or if we wanted to buy a game, just go hop over to Game Crazy, just walk across through the store.
Yeah, we had run of the town back then. We had a couple of mom and pop game stores, plus we had GameStop, Game Crazy. Yeah, we had a little bit of everything there. It was really cool back in the day. Now it's just GameStop for gaming retail, and that's about it. I think the mom and pops are long gone. From what I gather, like if you ever seen like if you ever seen like any of Metal Jesus' stuff, he talks to that gal that owns the pink gorilla. Apparently, it's a tough business, man. It's
No, but I
it's
know a lot of people talk about like, well, the way I know, or the reason I know about Middle Jesus is because whenever I come across videos about how he kind of like, I don't want to say I don't know if he does or not, but he kind of like influences the prices to go up on games or something.
he's one of
So
those that yeah, for sure he does.
it's like if,
That's
if he talks about something, it's not, I don't know if he's doing it intentionally, but if he talks about a certain game, now everybody wants to get it. So that's what drives the price up on games.
yeah.
But
There's a few key influencers that are bad about that. I don't necessarily know that they do it on purpose either. I'm with you there, but yeah, the
yeah.
impact is there, and I know there's been some other shit that has been talked about with Metal Jesus, but it's I don't have any evidence of it, so it's not something that I like to get into. But yeah, there's some stories out there for sure. But he seemed to me he seems like a pretty cool bloke. He worked at Sierra back when they made some of my favorite Sierra adventure games for PC. But yeah,
Oh yeah. Sierra, yeah, that's one of was Sierra with Bethesda or no?
no, that
Did
was.
they ever work with Bethesda? No.
I don't think so
Because I
because
feel like
Bethesda was their own thing, and they merged with ZeniMax around the time Morrowind came out. And basically, it was the only reason they did that was to save their company. So Bethesda was always kind of their own thing until
yeah.
ZeniMax. They literally a lawyer buddy literally bought majority share in the company through a holding company called ZeniMax Media.
Okay, all right.
Basically, give them a cash infusion to finish Morrowind. And that's how we got the Goliath that is Bethesda Softworks as we know it. Because Morrowind was a massive success, and then that allowed them to make Oblivion. Oblivion was an even bigger success, and then that allowed them to make Fallout 3, which was an even bigger success. And then they got to make Skyrim, and the rest is history.
Yeah, that's insane how I personally played, my favorite Fallout is New Vegas.
Well,
That's the first,
that's
that's actually
everybody's. It's great. It's
that's like
legendary.
it, and the only reason I say that is because that was my first entry into the series was New Vegas. My buddy had told me about Fallout 3, and for some reason, I mean, even though they're similar games, I was like, nah, I don't want to get into Fallout 3. Just doesn't look like it's a game for me. And then New
Fallout 3,
Vegas
yeah,
comes
Fallout
out.
3 is so drab looking. They came out in that period where everything was like baby shit brown, like in gray, and everything was just nasty looking. That 360 PS3 generation where everything had to be some shade of brown or gray.
Yeah, and that, I guess maybe that's probably one of the main reasons why I didn't, I guess, seek interest into it, because of how dull it looked, I guess. But then New Vegas came out, and I liked the whole, I guess, the Vegas aesthetic, right?
Well, and then they had the
And
desert, the Mojave, which was more colorful.
yeah,
amazing that a fucking desert could be more colorful than Washington D.C., but that's where we are. But and not to mention like the way they wrote that game world and the factions and the politics in the game world and like the philosophies that were kind of dually. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It is a game of big ideas. It's got a lot to say. Um, I could probably mine Fallout New Vegas content for the rest of my life, as far as just the amount of thought that they put into that game's world is incredible.
Yeah, thinking about it, like back then, I probably didn't pay too much attention. It's kind of like when you're a kid,
Hmm.
you kind of don't get the, whatever, these Disney movies that have those hidden jokes for adults or whatever. It's
Yeah,
like
same thing.
that now. Like when I played it, I don't want to say I was really young. I was probably still in middle school or somewhere around there, and I played that game. It's one of those games where
That's a
I,
formative
I,
experience.
I yeah, and I played it, and I'm like, all right, I played through everything. I don't want to say 100% it and everything, but I kind of got the gist of the story. But then like I feel like if I go back to it now and kind of just read into through everything, I'd probably want to go into a deep dive and like, oh, so this goes with this, or this is what happened. Read those little, um, how they leave notes and books and messages in games where you can just read them.
Yeah,
What these NPCs leaves. Um, and thinking about it now, it's like, yeah, it's probably a lot of politics stuff or whatever that's happening in the game that
oh
I
yeah,
never thought about it back then.
yeah, for sure. There's a dialectical struggle between like Kaisar's Legion and the NCR, for example. That's just really really interesting, and of course both, as a good old anarchist, I can tell you both are doomed to failure. Like, both are doomed to failure. One
Yeah,
one one will die out as soon as its strong man dies. There's nothing holding it together. The other literally is recreating the problems of the old world in the new world. Neither one was a solution. Nor was Mr. House. Mr. House was an autocrat. Um,
yeah,
it's like techno dork nightmare shit. So yeah. But at the same time, the way anarchism is presented in the game with Yes Man's path was also, I found, to be terrible. Basically, like, there's a bunch the AI robots basically enforce an anarchy in the wasteland. So basically, they just roll around and make sure no other powers pop up so that people can continue to do whatever they want. So basically, that's just machine oppression too. So what I that's one of the
yeah,
things, but that's one of the things I like about New Vegas is, just like the real world, there are no true solutions. You
yeah.
have a series of bad choices, essentially.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Probably why I like New Vegas a lot, because I think that was another. I wonder. I don't remember if that one came out before Fable 2, or maybe Fable 2 came out, but those games where kind of like the morality, like kind of determines what ending you get and stuff. That kind of like really like got me into those games, because it's like, oh well, if I go this route, I could just, I'll be like a bad person, at the end of the game. And that's what kind of like what really why I guess another reason why I kind of like Fallout, because it's like, oh, I could, let this guy go who killed me at the beginning, or killed,
They're yeah,
shot me for
they're
dead.
all bad.
Or
Yeah.
it's like a whole lot of, that's another reason why I guess I liked it, because it was like I've never had to experience a game where I could get like a certain ending, right? And that's
Right.
where that was my first experience. But then to find out later on that there was games before that, that were
Oh
already
yeah.
doing it,
Oh yeah.
like one like a game I haven't played yet. It was like Chrono Trigger, that everybody talks about. Like, oh, you get so many endings with that game,
Sort of, sort of.
or
So
other games, right? But
yeah, there a lot of
I
them are
was
kind of,
always like,
a lot of them are not distinct. They're kind of slight variations in Chrono, but there are some real laugh out loud ones. Like the Reptide ending is just fucking gut bustingly hilarious. Like where you
yeah, I
where you
think.
fucked up somewhere along the time frame, and like when you go to like the World's Fair, they're all Reptides now.
But I think that's what's kind of like cool about it, because it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, I don't like this ending, and I want to go back and redo it and see. I want to do the other ending, because I didn't like how this one ended. Because that's what kind of made me go back on some of the, like on Fable 2. Well, like Fable 2, um, I had did it on purpose, right? Like I went the bad ending, and I'm like, all right, well, I wonder if I did the good ending where I'm just
Right.
good throughout the whole thing. But it's kind of like, I guess it's a good way to kind of like, oh, if you didn't like this ending, then you could always just play it again and do it a different way. So
Always.
I
Yeah.
think that's a kind of like another, like a good, I guess, tactic. That the replayability
Did
to
did
these
you
games.
Did you ever get a chance to play Knights of the Old Republic games?
No, I know a lot of people.
Strong
Is it?
recommendation.
Yeah, Knights of the Old Republic.
Knights of the Old
That
Republic and two.
that's not the old. It's not the online game, right? Or is
No,
it?
no, fuck that crap. Yeah, absolutely not.
What's that?
Yeah,
Yeah, because I kind of get confused. Like,
you want the
what is it?
BioWare. Well, one was made by BioWare, which is a BioWare's game. Knights of the Old Republic is just a fucking solid light dark Jedi experience that you're looking for. It is fucking solid as a rock. It's amazing. And there's a version for Switch. You can get it on the Switch. It's a limited run, so it's the physical's long gone. Although I think they're going to do a sale this weekend, so check that. There might be able to get a physical copy of some of their reverse stock.
I wish. I wish it wasn't so. That's one of the things. That's kind of like when how I collect for the Switch is
Uh-huh.
like I try to collect just retail, like whatever came out for everybody.
Right.
And I kind of like it's just me, right? But like limited run, how when they release physical games and it's only through their website. But I guess it all depends on the publisher, right? Because I have ordered some games from certain publishers, like I
Well,
got Castle Crashers from the Behemoth,
I saw that. It's
and
like
I
I had
didn't.
to order this one online. You're like, I don't usually like to do this, but yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and I personally don't like doing that because I personally like finding the games myself.
Yeah, you're like
It's
Jay from
just it's
Cold Nights. Jay's like that. Jay doesn't
yeah.
like to shop online, so
So
yeah.
it's like I try not to order nothing online. And
Well, and it
that's
really
one of the
depends.
websites I don't order from.
If you're one of these old fuddy duddies like me that just can't fucking stand a digital game, like I have to get them all like as they come. But most people aren't like me, and most people are not weird, and they see a digital game, and it's like, hey, I can get that Old Republic for like $5 on my Switch. Like, all right.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, and I have double dipped on. I mean, I do have. The only reason I have this game was because I bought it at Best Buy, and Best Buy has, I guess, a contract with Limited Run. I
Mm-hmm.
bought the Scott Pilgrim versus the World physical from them.
That's a great
So
beat 'em up.
and yeah, and I actually played that back when it released on the 360. So that's probably that's why I got it really. So
Are you a
for I
Scott?
guess also for
Now, are
nostalgia.
you a Scott Pilgrim fan?
Yes,
Okay.
I would say so. I loved it. I think I went to go see it in theaters when it came out, but because my buddy introduced me to it, I was
So,
introduced to the movie first and then the game. So
well, I am a reverse Scott Pilgrim fan, is how I like to describe myself. And what I mean by
I
that
remember.
is a reverse Scott Pilgrim fan because I didn't even fucking know about Scott. I knew about it, like of course I knew about it. You couldn't, people wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. But it's not that I like went out of my way to avoid it. It's just a movie I never had an opportunity to watch. And then I
Yeah,
played Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and then from there I watched a Netflix show, and from there I sought out the movie. So I literally did it in the most obtuse fucking order you could
yeah,
possibly
that's.
imagine.
Oh man, yeah, that's. I wonder how was it like? Because
Good.
I can.
I enjoyed it.
Did you like it though? Like, did you
Yeah,
like the movie?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, that's good. I think because
yeah. I liked all of it.
that's probably it was like it's insane how kind of pretty close it was to the game, you know. I mean it was based off the game, so it's it was just really good. I think the cast was just really great too. They all fit
Yeah,
perfectly, I
they
think.
did a good job. They did a really good job.
So I
I
think it really I haven't seen the Netflix show yet, but everybody tells me it's really good, so I probably need to
Netflix show.
check it
Yeah,
out too.
I like the Netflix show a lot actually. It was good. Um, I was gonna say, like, starting to see Hollywood. Hollywood's been in some bad, rough shape lately, but they're starting to come out with some fucking bangers. You had Dune Part Two. Now you got that Furiosa coming out, which Furiosa is like the prequel to one of the best action movies ever fucking made. Period. Which is Mad Max
Yeah.
Fury Road. Have you seen Mad Max Fury Road, dude?
I have I saw it a long time ago,
Oh
but
my
that's
god,
why
it's
I'm kind
good.
of like insane that they've kind of like rebooted it or kind of like brought it back, right?
Oh, I'm so excited.
Because
Yeah.
it's like wow, it's like all these movies are coming out of nowhere that you never thought would get like a prequel or a sequel to them. It's kind of
Well,
good, right? Because it's like well, those movies were really good, so
and then the Megalopolis is coming out too, which is going to be amazing. Listen to the cast on this.
Megalopolis.
Megalopolis. I can never fucking say that. So this is a Francis Ford Coppola movie. So you know who that is, right?
No.
Godfather director. And
Okay.
so it's got Adam Driver. It's got Giancarlo
Oh.
Esposito, who played
Bad. What's his name? Breaking Bad.
Gus Fring on
What's his
fucking
name?
Breaking Bad. It's got
Yeah.
Aubrey Plaza, Shia LaBeouf, John Voight, Lawrence Fishburne. Like, holy shit, this cast.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
this cast is
Dustin
stacked.
Dustin Hoffman is back for this movie.
Wow. Yeah, I'm looking at the cast too, and there's a lot more people. And
Yeah,
so what's this movie? Is it a
hard to describe. Very hard to describe. Essentially, it's about the failure of a city. It's about the systematic failure of a city is what it's about.
wow?
And
I might have to check this one out for sure.
and what's so interesting about this movie is Martin Scorsese. Now, not Martin Scorsese. Shit, Francis Ford Coppola, same guy, right? So,
Yeah,
so Francis Ford Coppola. I again keep in mind this is the motherfucker that directed The Godfather and The
The
Godfather
Godfather.
Part Two.
Yeah,
Okay, could not get a single Hollywood studio to bankroll this movie. He's doing it himself.
that's insane.
He's
Probably like
making
one
the
of the most
movie
like
himself.
yeah, that's insane. Like one of the yeah, because
Well,
I personally, and might get hate for this. I've never seen The Godfather, but I've always hear people talk about The
you
Godfather.
should watch The Godfather
But
and The Godfather Part Two. You should watch that. 100%.
yeah,
100%.
but I've
You should
always,
watch.
it had to be good, or well, it had well known because it's been referenced through like other other
Yeah,
other
here's
media.
the thing.
Like
You'll watch The Godfather. You have probably watched the. You say you haven't watched The Godfather, but you have probably watched The Godfather in its entirety by cultural osmosis alone. Just the references,
yeah,
just the constant
exactly.
references. You've probably seen the whole movie without ever
Yeah,
seeing the movie.
yeah. That's the crazy part because like I've seen movies where like I'll see a movie and I'm like I've never seen this movie before, but I definitely understood what this
Karate
movie
Kid,
was or what I've seen it, and I was like, yeah, exactly. So I was
the
like, what?
Karate
Like
Kid.
I've seen this movie, yeah,
Like, like
through
there's a
other
lot of yeah,
media.
there's a lot of people that's never seen the Karate Kid, but they've seen the Karate Kid, the whole fucking movie, through the process of just memes and quotes and references. Yeah, they've seen the whole movie. They'll watch the movie and be like, I've
Yeah,
never seen this, but I know every word of this movie because it's just such a
yeah, that's
cultural landmark. Jaws,
yeah, and
Jaws,
Jaws, yeah, I
The
actually,
Terminator.
yeah, the Terminator,
Yeah,
Jaws, yeah, those movies I actually had gone back um after everybody had already seen them and stuff, and I had gone on. Sometimes I'll go on like these binge watches and start watching these old school movies. Like I went on a binge watch to watch all the Jaws movies, all of them,
yeah, and
and
they're all fucking entertaining. There's only one good
yeah,
movie, but they're all entertaining. I just did that with Nightmare on Elm Street because it's getting ready to leave Netflix. I watched all of them.
yeah, I know. There's a lot of I don't know if you know Shutter. I think Shutter might have them, but Shutter is like all
Shutters.
like
Are you a horror fan? Yeah, that tells me you're a horror fan.
yeah. I don't have
Oh,
Shutter. I
Jill.
used to have Shutter, but I do enjoy horror movies.
Me
One of the
too.
guys that I watch on YouTube, I'm pretty sure if you watch horror, maybe you watch him too. Dead Meat.
I know Dead Meat.
He's one of yeah, he's one of the guy. Also one of the YouTubers that kind of got me into like watching more horror stuff. And it's kind of like I watched the movie before you watch his breakdown, right?
Mhm.
And that's how I started watching. That's kind of I got signed up for Shutter, and I started watching one of the like one of the movies that's one of his favorites, which is what's it called? Sleepaway Camp. I don't know if you've seen it, but Sleepaway Camp was really good.
Yeah, that's the one with the killer at the end being like the twist. We won't spoil it for anybody here, but
Yeah, yeah. It
yeah,
was
yeah.
pretty much. I don't know if I don't think it's before Friday the 13th, but it was just another kind of like movie
It's
like
from
that,
the era. Yeah, it's from the same era.
Yeah, so it's kind of like those old school movies. They're just there's nothing can beat those like old school movies now, right? Like everything's a lot more. Like,
Well,
you
yeah,
know,
because
it's
it's computer generated. It's the point I was making on Twitter. If you saw that, which is that just because something is easier and just because something is more expensive doesn't necessarily mean it was better. Limitations are like, for example, I'll give you Empire Strikes Back, right? Star Wars: The
mhm,
Empire Strikes Back. The limitations that George Lucas was up against in that movie, because of not only of technology but because of budget. Those movies weren't made for that much, right? And so, because of this, it forced George Lucas to think outside the box on how he wanted to do a scene. Whereas when he came back for the prequel trilogy, literally the sky was the limit for that fucking guy. The studio's like, how much money you need, George? And as a result, he was able to unleash his quote unquote artistic vision on our senses. And turns out we didn't really like his artistic vision that much. Turns out George Lucas wasn't that fucking great when he was unconstrained. But those
yeah,
constraints made him a great filmmaker. You take the constraints off, you get a fucking mess. Like Hideo Kojima, a lot of his work. There's the controversial treatment for
well,
this fucking movie.
well, well. I grew up on the trilogy prequel, and I mean, I don't know. I know a lot of people don't like the trilogy prequel. I personally liked it because I guess I grew up on it,
You
right?
did
But
not like the Clone
I
Wars. You did not like the Clone Wars. You mean you like the
it was
Phantom? You like the Phantom Menace and Revenge of the Sith, is what you mean?
I don't know. I don't know. I think, well, you know what? It probably the reason maybe also because at the time one of the first one, what was it, the first prequel, Phantom Menace, it introduced pod racing, right?
Pod racing was cool
So
as fuck. Pod racing was cool as
it
fuck. Best thing to come
and
out
at
of
the
that series, we got the N64 game too. It was a blast.
exactly, and that was probably the reason why maybe I liked it too, because that was one of the games
Yeah,
that I had in my collection, right?
fair.
Pod racing, and I was like, man, like pod racing, this game was so cool. So when I watched the movie, I was like, wow, this movie is
Oh
really
yeah,
cool. But
yeah. No
maybe
argument.
because
No argument there. But back to the Clone Wars. Like, what is redeeming about the Clone Wars?
I don't know. Uh, it's hard. I mean, maybe now to watch it, probably the reason why I would probably like it still, just per nostalgic purposes, right?
Right. Okay.
But
Totally
that's
acceptable answer,
that
by
would
the way.
that would that would probably be, the main reason. It's kind of like now, um like I'm a Mortal Kombat fan, and a lot of people didn't like the new Mortal
Annihilation.
Kombat that came out. No, no, no. Well, no, no. So no, no, no. So the first, I would agree with everybody. Like the first original Mortal Kombat was good, or I
Badass.
liked it, right? And then after that, it kind of just like, all right, went
Yeah,
downhill,
I know
right? Especially because
Annihilation is such a
they
dog shit train wreck, but it's so fun too.
because they had, yeah, exactly, and it's kind of like how the era movies were back then. That's the style of era
Shao
that it
Kahn,
was back then.
Shao Kahn was so fucking bad in that movie. Like they take Shao Kahn, he's just some white dude. He's just some skinny white bald white
Yeah,
dude.
exactly.
It's like they can't act. They can't act his way out of a wet paper bag. I don't know what. And then they replace the different actors. Like it's like that's not Raiden. What the
Yeah,
fuck? That's
exactly.
not
So
Raiden.
it's like
That's
you
not
can't
that's not
take you
Sonya. What?
everybody that was in Mortal Kombat, the first original Mortal Kombat. You cannot replace them, on the next movies,
They
right?
could they
It's
couldn't
like
afford
there's
Johnny
no.
Cage's actor, so he just had his neck get broke in the first 10 seconds. So all
Oh
right,
yeah,
I
no,
give up.
that was, I was like, and that was one of the times when I had started doing the whole binge
Man,
watching. Sometimes every now and then I would go binge watch movies.
yeah,
And I'm like, man, what's going on here? Like, what's going on with this? Like, why'd they change the characters? But um, with the more recent, like the Mortal Kombat 2019, maybe, I don't know when it came out, the last one. Now they're doing the second movie. Um, it's kind of hard to not like the movie if you like the franchise. I mean,
I love Mortal
I mean, I
Kombat.
know, like, I love Mortal Kombat, right? And
Me
I
too.
know a lot of people that don't watch Mortal Kombat or don't play Mortal Kombat, they probably won't understand, but they're like, oh, well, that movie's really good, right? But it's like the people that don't know about the game, they're watching that movie, they probably don't know how the game really is, right? And it's kind of where that's where I'm kind of conflicted, where it's like, well, that's not
Right.
really how it was in the game, right? So it's like I like the movie, the action, the gore was okay, but I've seen other movies with better gore, and I feel like the budget, or I don't know, I feel like it could have done a little bit better, and I
Right,
just
right,
didn't
and to
agree with the.
probably an over reliance on CGI, which is just a common Hollywood
Yeah,
thing.
that's where I think it was. The CGI on it was just I did not like it. I think one of the ninja movies, was it American Assassin or Assassin Ninja or something like that, had way better gore,
Right.
believable ones than Mortal Kombat, right?
Yeah.
But
Do you ever watch the Half in the Bag guys? What is it?
the what?
Red Letter Media. They're called. Yeah, the Half in the Bag boys. They check
Mm-mm.
them out. If you like movie channel, check them out. Half of the Bad guys. It's just these two guys that sit in a video rewind. Like basically they rewind movies. Like that's what they do. They're a movie rewind place. How that fucking exists, I don't know. I think that's part of the joke. But it's just two guys that are like VCR repair guys, and they just sit down and they talk about movies, and it's the funniest shit in the world. They're so fucking funny. They're so funny.
Yeah, when they talk, yeah, and then that's what I kind of like. That is also like another, what I enjoy is like when people talk about like what their opinion, right, about movies. 'Cause it's kind of like, all right, well, I like to see what their perspective is on what they saw, right?
Oh yeah, I'm a
Their
total
side of the
weirdo.
thing.
I will literally. I just watch somebody rank all like 54 Stephen King books in order of how much he likes them. I'm a fucking freak with this shit.
Yeah, that's
Like
that's
it's
yeah, those
relaxing. It's while I have to sit and survive a fucking conference call meeting, it's fucking relaxing. So like I'll put the conference call on, and then basically what I will do is in my actual earphones, like I'm listening to that instead. Like it's just relaxing to me because most of our conference call meetings don't even fucking need me. Like
yeah.
it's not I don't need to be there. There's not going to be a call I need to make. Like if that's the case, then I'll get an email, a priority email or something like that. Yeah, no, this is
Oh
just
yeah, pop.
going through the fucking motions. So it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna watch a YouTuber tell me about his favorite Stephen King books.
Oh yeah, that's what that's a great thing. That's also why I like listening to your lives, because also it's just like I could be doing something and or not doing something, right, and just listen to what you got to say.
See, I've heard people
Like I
say
think,
that. Like the show format is very rudimentary, and it's not a stroke of genius on my part or anything. Like I just don't know how to fucking do anything else. I just don't. I am technically shit, but a lot of people have told me that like even though I'm starting to dip my toes into video editing, the old format too was good. They actually like the old format where I talk over the bad screenshots because they're not watching the fucking video anyway. They're just listening, and so
yeah,
like yeah.
yeah, I think that's how it is most of the time. Like, well, I mean, most podcasts are kind of like that. Like Joe Rogan's. I'm not sure if you listen to him, but sometimes I'll pop Joe Rogan on while I'm at
So
work or
yeah,
something.
and actually, it's funny you mentioned Joe Rogan. So I watched some of the clips. Right, I'm not going to sit here and say I've ever watched a single whole podcast of his, but I hear so many people tell me, and like I think they're way overblowing this. So please, guys, this isn't my words. This is somebody else that said this. And I'm going to name them because it's a ridiculous comparison, and they don't mean in how big the show is or should be or will be because that ain't gonna fucking happen. But I was told that I'm like a Joe Rogan style video game podcast.
Yeah, and that's how I kind of like, and that's why I said it, because it's like that's how whenever I think of the episode with Upper Nimbus, because he's in Australia. You had to do a little earlier podcast.
Right.
I think I was working, and I was just listening the whole time. So it's kind of like that. That's pretty much it. Because it's like, I mean, even when you watch Joe Rogan, yeah, he has his videos and stuff, but it's just them going back and forth with whoever's talking, right?
Right.
And you don't really need to see that because it's like they're not doing anything but just talking. So that's
Yeah.
why that's why
No,
it's like
it makes
the
sense.
the form of the way you do it. It's very similar. It's the same way. It's just like, well, I mean, you don't have the cameras on, but it's still the same thing when you're talking. You're just
Well,
talking. So the
yeah,
conversation.
and I think what the person who was telling me this meant in terms of the comparison is that it's a long form unedited long form live conversation. I don't know if he's live anymore. I don't think he is. So I think I got that wrong.
No, Yeah, I don't
It's
think he's live anymore. I
yeah,
think but he doesn't cut out, at least from how I see it. I
anymore.
know most podcasts they still cut out stuff,
Yeah,
but
no,
his is definitely not. I don't think it doesn't seem like it's cut out at all. They just put the whole thing in there.
exactly. It's
Um,
long form content that is there for anybody to want to listen to. If you want to listen to it in parts, you want to listen to it in bits, but it's a long form communication. Yeah, and
yeah,
there's
and it works.
oh yeah, I mean yeah, and again,
The
I didn't
clips that come
intentionally.
out, the clips that come out, is just a lot of clips. That's
Oh
on
yeah,
top of whatever they come out with. That's just insane. Like, just
somebody
thinking
wanted me to
about like
somebody wanted me to do a clips thing. Somebody wanted me to start doing some clips on some of these, and it's something I'll think about. But again, that's editing and it's
no, I definitely get it because it's definitely it's time consuming, and sometimes you just don't want to. You're just not up for it, especially after working. You're just like as it, you could have time, right? It's just like
right.
maybe you want to do it, but it's just like your body just doesn't want to do it or something.
Well,
And I totally get it
yeah,
because
and I
sometimes
try to
I just
tell
don't want
these.
to do something.
Well, I try to tell these folks, man, like because a lot of people are like, man, I wish you to see more of this or see more of the edited videos or see more of the liquored ups. Even it's like, why are they so sporadic? Is there any way to get on a schedule? The answer to all that is no. And the reason
No,
for that is I have a job. I have an actual other job, guys, and
oh yeah,
it's a demanding job, and it's so I enjoy doing these. I absolutely enjoy. I'll do them anytime. If anybody can literally reach out to me, and I will talk to them. We will set it up right then and there. You can attest to that.
yeah,
Um,
exactly, yeah,
I'm very accommodating with that. But in terms of putting this on a schedule or kind of getting an actual schedule together, no, I'm not going to do this for a living. I'm never going to do this for a living. None of this shit is ever going to be monetized. Ever going to be monetized. So
yeah. I mean, you never know. I mean,
I do know.
later down the line, I
I
mean,
know. I absolutely will. No, even if I get successful, this is no ads, no monetization. I'm a stickler for that. People are like, "Well, don't you want to make money on YouTube?" Zoo, I have money. I have fucking
yeah.
money. I
I
don't need
think,
more money
yeah.
from fucking
At the end
from
of the
YouTube.
day, I think it's all just for fun. It's all just on the side stuff.
Right,
It's just
and no
something that
shade,
it
no
doesn't
shade.
require.
Exactly.
Yeah,
No
exactly.
shade to
It's just
anybody who does.
something that do it how you want, and that's what
Yeah,
I think is it's the best part, right? Is when you're doing stuff because you want to do it, not because it's like, oh man,
yeah,
maybe one day I'll
and
get
that's it.
big or something. Like,
And
no, it's just no,
yes,
I want to do it, and if people want to come along and watch it, then that's even better, right? But
well, and
you don't
here's the
lose
thing:
anything.
if you take money, so I'm old school in terms of business, right? I'm kind of an old school business outlook guy, and what I mean by that is your customer is God in the eyes of a businessman, right? So what I
Mm.
mean by that is whoever your customer is, and I can point you to a million examples just in recent gaming news about this. Whoever pays you is your God. That's your boss.
Mhm.
I don't want a boss. I've spent my whole fucking life trying to avoid having bosses, and I'll be fucked if I'm gonna be bossed when I make hobbyist fucking videos on YouTube. Fucking YouTube. I'm not gonna be bossed by an audience. I'm not gonna have an audience capture and lead them
Oh yeah,
somewhere. I've
definitely.
spent my
Yeah,
entire life avoiding working my life to a point where I don't need a boss. I'm the fucking boss.
yeah,
I don't want to be the
exactly.
boss. Um
Yeah, it's always that's what I think a lot of people kind of just you should just do it because you want to, not
yes.
just because maybe you see one or two people like, oh, maybe you should, do it
Now
this way, or why don't you do this? It's like, no, come
right.
on. It's like,
Now that's a privileged position, by the way. So there's a
yeah,
lot of people
and
who they might be working, be working the shelves at fucking Walmart or Shop and Save or wherever. If that's the case, yeah, YouTube making some change on YouTube probably looks pretty fucking good, and
yeah,
more power to them. Like again, no shade at anybody who
yeah,
wants to make
exactly,
money
yeah.
on
And then
YouTube.
do what you got to do. If you got to,
I'm not gonna do
kind of make your money. But it's like for me personally, I rather just I just
it.
do it for fun, right? Do it for
Not to mention,
not looking for it to eventually make money out of it, right? It's
well,
just
and
Um,
and I'm totally independent. I don't have an editor. I don't have. It's a completely independent thing where nobody's responsible for me. I'm not responsible for anybody else, and that means I can get in a lot more trouble, like I've been doing lately. So, which is fun sometimes. So,
oh yeah, no, yeah. I think that's one thing that's kind of like cool about this is like you have to, cause like I'm also by myself. Like I'm just trying to learn this stuff by myself.
uh huh.
So I learn all the editing and things myself because I always see these like the other content creators like, man, I wonder how they do it, or I wonder if they pay somebody. So it's kind of like you kind of like learn it yourself, and I never try to um stress myself over it, right? So if I do it, I just do it what I can, and
Yeah.
if I find an easier way, then I just that's the good thing about it. Is like I've been finding kind of like easier ways to do it, to go about it. So it's like not as stressful as it was at like it was in the beginning. So it's
Right.
kind of like I've been finding ways myself to kind of like reduce the stress and find easier ways, which is I think it's pretty good. But at the end, it should always be about doing it for fun, doing it because you
Well,
want to, not because
it's
you know
yeah, it's a
somebody's
crash.
forcing you to do it.
It's definitely a crash course as far as the editing for sure. I thank God for like Jay from Cold Nights, fucking kind of showed me kind of the general ropes of Filmora and video editing. But a general rule of thumb is don't pay someone to do something you can't do, like if you can avoid it. Now, a lot of people
Yeah,
take the opposite track. They're like, hey, if I can't do something, that's when you bring in someone who can do that and pay them, right? No, wrong. You should absolutely fucking try to know how to do that thing before you pay someone else to do it. Because here's the thing: if you don't know how to fucking do it, how the fuck do you know that they did a good job?
yeah, exactly. I think yeah, that's right. That's right. That's true. You put it exactly how I was thinking about it. So
Yeah, exactly.
it's
And it's yeah, 100%. So got a new blood has been drawn. Got Caesar Arcade in the house. What's going on,
oh,
Caesar?
what's up, Caesar?
Yep, we're gonna entertain Caesar on his drive, which is always good. Let's catch up on the Super chats real quick. We got Inferno Fox Gaming said sorry had to mute as got on a quick call. Hey, that's no problem, man. That's no problem. That's why this is a podcast. Everybody does is
Oh
do
yeah.
as thou wilt, to quote the God Hand in Berserk, right? Hello, how's it going? So I'd say, hey, Brooke, everybody talking, and then, hey, I have watched Metal Jesus' channel. It's good. Yeah, it's a good. Yeah, Metal Jesus is solid. Um, Good editing, good content. Guy that sure knows his way around video games for sure. Yeah, I got no beef with Metal Jesus whatsoever. Not that he fucking knows who I am, but yeah, no
Oh yeah,
shame.
that's I wish I watched I always hear about these like YouTubers like that, and I just never, I guess it's never either popped up on my recommended or I just never watched it, but I always
Well,
hear
the
them talk about
space is
himself.
yeah, the space is fucking so red ocean at this point. Like there are
Yeah,
multi-million sub YouTube channels I've never fucking heard of. I'm like, who? They're like, oh my god, you don't know who blah 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 is? Nope, sure don't. And the reason being is it's such a crowded fucking space.
it is.
Like
Yeah, it
I
is.
rave about, like, for example, Super Eye Patch Wolf, who I see as like the final boss of fucking video content. He's amazing, and a lot of people don't know who he is, even though he's got like I think it's well over a million at this point. But that dude makes incredible videos. Like
Yeah, that's insane how many people are like YouTube is so huge. Like there's so many content creators on here that are over a million, and you're just thinking like because like we only know or like you hear about the big ones, like PewDiePie and Markiplier and stuff like that. You're like, oh yeah, those people they're
everybody
set, but
knows
there's
how it
also
goes.
other. It's like there's a lot more people like they're big too. Like I think hitting a million, it's well, you're like really big, right? But compared to those guys, it's like
Still small.
no, like they're small, right?
Well, yeah,
So
PewDiePie's at like what 100 mil. Like Mark Plier probably pushing close to that. Like, you know what? Let me find out real quick.
yeah,
I
because
know
that
I
was
I know
one of the times when I was like when T Series he was having the battle with T Series like the most subs and stuff.
which he was going to lose because T Series is literally like a content mill. Like
Exactly,
that's a
it's like
company. It's a company. versus one.
Yeah.
PewDiePie will always be the king to me because he is a single YouTuber that does all his own shit. Like literally, it's just one guy, one fucking guy. Now he probably has
Yeah.
editors and shit. Now I would be shocked if he doesn't have a team of editors at this point. But still, like one fucking guy. So yeah, he got 111 million followers for PewDiePie. Mr. Beast.
Jeez,
What's Mr.
man.
Beast have? Mr.
I think
Beast has
he's
241 million followers. What's T Series have?
yeah, that's what I had recently seen on X where he was called
206.
Mr.
Yeah.
Beast.
Still,
Mr. Beast was doing a challenge against T Series or
yep,
something.
he's going for it. He's going for it. But yeah, that's
Yeah, so it's
T
like
Series is an Indian content mill, and good fucking luck because there is um what is the current population of India? And by the way, they've got some incredible content now as far as music and movies. So if you're tapped on North American movies and film, check out the Indian movie scene because oh my god, there's some good shit coming out of India. Bahubali. Have you seen
Bahub.
Bahubali?
No, but I always hear a lot of stuff
Oh,
coming out, Bollywood and stuff like
Bahubali
that. A
is
lot of
one of the greatest. It makes Marvel shit look boring as fuck. You gotta watch Bahubali and Bahubali 2, Part 2. You gotta watch them. So let's see.
Bahubali.
Bahubali is what it's called. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I
India
think
current population. Let's see.
yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
stuff that
yeah.
I've
Almost
seen is
almost
just
1.5 billion people just in India alone. So yeah,
ease.
good luck.
Yeah.
Good fucking luck, Mr. Beast. You're gonna need. Although he's only got 20 million more to go. To be fair,
Only 20 million. That's insane. Like
only
just
20
thinking
million
about
to
it,
go. Is it
only
20
20
million? Yeah,
million
20
when
million.
there's
Yeah,
like when there's YouTubers out there that are like a million, right? And it's like, all
yeah.
right, I got a million, and we already think that's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of people, dude.
Well, that's
So
at
it's
that
like,
point you're literally in like the top millionth of a percent, like
yeah, that's
of
like,
all YouTubers at that point. Mark Plyer has 30. So yeah, so even Mark Plyer compared to the two we just mentioned is a fucking piker. 36.5 million for Mark Plyer, which again
yeah,
is
that's
is
insane.
more than our entire social circle on YouTube will have combined in our lifetime. So just saying, not trying to throw shade
Definitely,
at
yeah.
anybody,
Oh
not
no,
trying to
yeah,
throw
yeah, yeah, no,
shade at
definitely.
anybody in our community, but come
Yeah, that's yeah.
on.
It's a that's a that's a long road. You know, we'll never
Well,
get to
fuck,
the end of
I'm
that
I'm
tunnel.
including
So
OJ. I'm including OJ in that. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. We can throw OJ in there even. Like it ain't
yeah,
happening.
OJ's
Fuck, you can throw Eye Patch Wolf in there. It ain't happening, man. Like
yeah,
we'll even
that's
add, we'll
insane.
add OJ and we'll add John from Eye Patch Wolf. We'll add them in there. Yeah, still not. Oh yeah, not even close collectively. So yeah,
What and Metal Jesus?
yeah, Metal G. Yeah, let's see what Metal Jesus has. I don't think Metal Jesus even has as much as Eye Patch Wolf. But let me check. I might be wrong.
Yeah, he's almost at a mil. He's like at
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah.
924K.
Metal Jesus ain't even Eye Patch Wolf in terms of
Yeah, that's
subscribers.
insane. And he's the one I hear. Well, I mean, he's in the. I guess you could say the circle, right? Like you said, like what most people talk about when it
in
comes
in
to video
our in
games.
our space, he's a megastar. Yeah, in our
Yeah,
space, he's a megastar. And all of YouTube, there are makeup channels that put our biggest shit on their shit.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
There,
Uh,
the GF was showing me some of this makeup shit, like literally like fucking 70 million subs, like for fucking makeup tutorials.
Yeah, that's a lot of like different categories, right? Imagine
Or,
that.
or the
Just
sports tubers, the sports
we're just
tubers,
yeah, the sports YouTubers,
or wrestling
the
YouTubers that have just tens of millions. Like, yeah, there's
it's
some
insane.
yeah MMA and wrestling type combat sport guy bros and sports tubers and fuck even some of the do it yourself stuff. Like there's this one guy, all he
Oh
fucking
yeah.
does is crush things with a hydraulic crusher. Like with hydraulic
Oh
press.
right. The I've seen those. Yeah, I haven't seen that one actually in a long time.
Or gun tube.
When they
You've
used
got
to come
yeah,
up in my recommended gun tubers.
yeah,
There's
gun tube. There's some huge gun tubers.
the house flippers or DIYers. You know, a lot of a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's
That's
the
why,
thing.
like,
Like, we're small fish in a giant pond, homie. Like,
yeah,
even the biggest among us is small fish in a giant pond.
yeah, I know, right? That, like, and that's putting in or seeing it in that perspective is like, yeah, compared to the other people that are like over 100 million or something like that, like I guess they're just as small as us, right? Well, I mean, we're really small, but
I said
they're,
we're
you
fucking
know,
microscopic in the grand scheme of things.
exactly, we're at the bottom. So,
Like, fuck, I don't even know what I have. What do I have now? I was last I checked, it was like 200 some odd.
210,
210. Yeah, that's all right. All right.
doing
Yeah,
pretty good,
that's
doing, you're
200. It's
getting up there.
200. It's 210 more than I thought I'd fucking have.
Yeah,
So you figure you can round up 10 people, right? You figure any clown can round up 10 people. Like that's where it kind of stops, and from there it's like y'all are insane. Like I love y'all, but y'all you listen to my fucking goofy ass as much as y'all are nuts, and I love you. I love you for your madness. Um, for
yeah.
sure.
I I think that's what matters at the end. I mean, as long as you have a following that is loyal, that likes what you do too.
Well,
So
and I
if
and
they
I,
enjoy
I
that.
I do my best not to abuse it, because I know people's time is finite. There's
Oh yeah, there's definitely some people out there that abuse that stuff. So, and it's
so
unfortunate.
so I want to pick your brain, homie. What do you got? What do you think about what's going on lately in the gaming space as far as all the studio closures, the layoffs, all the strife between this fake war that they've all made with each other about fucking black samurais and fucking um what is it? Fucking there's like a centimeter of crotch not showing or some shit or like
So the whole, so for that, I would kind of say, like, I don't know anything about history, right? When I think about games, I'm just thinking about playing them, right? It's like
apparently that's what we should be doing.
that I feel like that's I that it's like I don't understand how we're all this, because this is not accurately historically accurate. That's why you shouldn't play this game or something like that. It's kind of like the whole Harry Potter thing, the Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, kind
It's
of.
like
Yeah, exact
a lot of
opposite of
stuff
it.
came
Yes.
like that. It's like so much for whatever reason, people were boycotting it, right? And it's
Right.
kind of like the same, I guess, the same situation with this Assassin's Creed. And it's like, I mean, this is just my opinion, right? I just feel like it's just a
Well, yeah,
game.
yeah.
Like,
It's just
it is a game to be made to just be enjoyed. And it's like, if you guys are talking about historical accuracy, it's like, look at all the other games. Like, they're not all it's a freaking game. Like, it's about some guy going into, or in a, what do you call it? Just he's doing memories from his ancestors past, or something like that,
you
from a
fight
far off future.
in
It's
Assassin's
like, what?
Creed 2. You fight the fucking Pope in a fist fight. Come on, like
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, or like, in Assassin's Creed 3, what you fight George Washington, he becomes tyrant. He becomes a tyrant or something like that. It's like,
yeah.
one, you guys are really bashing on this game that made George Washington a tyrant in a DLC. So it's like, I don't know. That's I don't know. I can't
So
really get
I
through.
have one question. It actually mirrors a question I ask all my guests at the end. Hey assholes, is the game fun?
Yeah, it's fun.
Then shut the fuck up and play video games. So that's kind of the thing. And by the way, same thing. I'm glad you brought up Hogwarts Legacy because lately people are just like, "Oh, Zoo, you're woke," and it's like, no, I'm not. I hate those fucking people too. Those people are god awful annoying. And Hogwarts Legacy is a great example of that. So what is it? We had there was something about J.K. Rowling is like not a good person for basically.
What?
And to be fair, J.K. Rowling is kind of a cunt. I'm not gonna lie. J.K. Rowling is kind of
Yeah,
a. She says some fucking stupid shit, right?
she didn't even. I think she said she wouldn't. She hates Emma Watson or something like that. I'm like, oh, come on,
Yeah,
how
there's
can you
some.
hate Emma?
Well,
How can
because
you hate the actor or something? But
she's kind of a transphobe, I guess. Is the thing.
yeah,
But here's the thing, and this is what I tried to say to the Hogwarts Legacy peeps when all that was happening, right? I said, so, and it's the same thing I'm saying to the Assassin's Creed people. Like, y'all aren't changing shit. You're advertising for this game. You're free advertising for
Mm.
this game. That's all you're doing. Your noise
Yep.
helped make that game the best selling game of that year, Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh yeah.
All your fucking bullshit made that the best seller. You're not boycotting Harry Potter. You're not
Yeah.
boycotting Harry Potter. I can't think of a thing that was I can't fucking think of something that would be harder to boycott than Harry Potter, honestly. Um, it's not happening, guys. All you
Yeah.
did is signal boost that game. And now everybody hears all this noise and it draws their attention to it. And there's people that might not have even played Harry Potter and like, man, now that I heard about Harry Potter, it's an open world Harry Potter wizard game. Yeah, I'm on board. And I didn't play it.
Yeah.
I didn't play it either because Harry Potter is. So let me tell you my opinion on Harry Potter, right? And this might be the most controversial thing I've ever said, but
Uh-oh.
when I started reading the first Harry Potter book, right, and people who know my literary taste, if you listen to my reviews, you know that I aim pretty high with literary taste, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I'm reading Harry Potter, and like I begin to notice how many writing cliches that this bitch uses, right? And so I grab an envelope and I start marking tally marks on the envelope every time. Like you would hear something like stretched his legs or shot back. Like, oh, Harry shot back. Well, I'm doing the best I can. Harry shot back. Or a character stretched her leg. By the time I had gotten done with the first book, I had filled up both sides of the envelope and I had needed to reach for another. So, what I will say about J.K. Rowling, just not even looking into like her so-called problematic behavior, she's a bad writer. She's not a
Yeah.
good writer. Now, please don't mistake that for saying that she doesn't deserve all the praise she's gotten. She got an entire generation of kids to read. I think
Yeah.
that's worthy of praise. Irregardless of what you think of her current stances, I think that is absolutely worthy of praise, right? Whole
Yeah.
generation of kids can read. Keep in mind though that like you're not going to impress me with J.K. Rowling because I read fucking Frankenstein. I read Moby Dick. I read The Count of Monte Cristo. What Harry Potter is it is a very, 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 very successful dime novel of our generation.
Yeah.
Every generation has dime novels. I don't necessarily know that we have written a great American epic in my lifetime, honestly. Maybe Stephen King's The Stand. Maybe. The ending's kind of fucked. Um, that's about as close as it gets, honestly. Salem's Lot. I think Salem's Lot is pretty damn good too.
Hmm.
Both by Stephen King. I think that's as close as you get to having a genuine great American novel of this time period. Writing is fucking hard, guys. Writing is hard
Yeah.
shit. So, but I'm glad you brought up Hogwarts Legacy because yeah, all the noise around that got really fucking irritating too. And there are a lot of people that bought that game just to say, you know what, fuck you guys. You're not gonna tell me what to do. People get obstinate when you
Yeah.
tell them they can't do something, man.
Oh yeah, and then
And
I
so,
think it's worse where it also like it kind of like made um people also say kind of like give a disclaimer in a video or something saying like, all right, so I'm getting this game not because I feel a certain way or something like that. I'm getting it because it's a game, right? But it's kind of like just
sure,
get the game because you want to get the game. You don't. I don't feel like because of this thing that's going on.
yeah. If,
You
if you
know,
want if you want to get the game, get the game. If you don't want to get the game,
just get
don't
the
get the game.
game. Yeah, exactly. So, um,
And by the way, that's what's going to happen with Samurai Game. It's exactly what's going to happen.
yeah.
It also doesn't
Oh
help,
yeah.
by the way, just to tell everybody, that also doesn't help the fact that they're fucking wrong. Okay. There
Yeah.
were all sorts of people who, like, oh, he was not a samurai, he was a retainer. Okay. What is a retainer in the Edo period of Japan? What it was a retainer? A retainer was a servant to the shogunate. What was a servant to the shogunate? Samurai.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was seeing the thread. I was seeing like the original video of some dude with the glasses talking about it. saying
Yeah,
that it
you can't
wasn't
even say,
about,
you can't even pronounce his fucking name, man.
yeah, and then somebody who combated it that got, a lot of
Yasuke.
traffic. Yeah, and then they were saying, all this. I was reading into it a little bit too. It's like, oh, what's a retainer? And they exactly how you said it. They were, they worked with the shogun, and they were actually samurais, and stuff like this. So it's kind of like, so what's the issue, or
Well,
what's the
yeah,
problem? I
well,
guess.
to steel man them, because now that I've ridiculed them, I also like to steel man their position. Their position is that okay, the smart ones, because there's a lot of dumb fucks that are just being racist, right? But
Hmm.
the principled position that they're taking, and let me see if I can steel man this, because it's not my position. So please, full disclaimer, this is not my position. I'm trying to steel man their position so we can look at it fairly. For people
Yeah.
who don't understand why you do, it's very important in terms of intellectual honesty to try to assault the best possible argument of your opponent. Okay, so if if you don't do that, you do what I just did, which is called a straw man, which is to say, oh, they're racist. That's not true
Mm.
for the better
Yeah.
arguments in this. There are some people that are just being fucking racist. I think I showed one thing on my Twitter. It's literally somebody's got like a trailer for a George Floyd skin that's unlockable for Yasuke. And that is just racism. That is just
Yeah,
fucking, yeah, it's just racism.
that's insane.
That is nuts. So there's that going on. So there's those fuckheads, and we don't even deal with them except to write them off and say you should go be stuffed in a locker somewhere. Fuck off.
Yeah.
There is a principled position that I will also take disagreement with on this issue, and that is that okay, let's assume that we're not going to lie about the history. We're not going to say Yasuke wasn't a samurai or retainer. He was. But even if you take that into account and say yes, there are authentic Japanese stories of Japanese samurai that could be told that Ubisoft is passing, and they want to know why that is. Okay,
Yeah.
why is one protagonist, um, African American? Why is one protagonist a female? Okay, when there's stories of actual samurai, is what they would say, like
Hmm.
Japanese samurai in a
Yeah.
Japanese country. And my answer to that is that oftentimes, if you look into mythology, there are the outsider that comes into a prominent position and in fact oftentimes saves the nation is one of the most common tropes in mythology. Okay, so there's answer number one. Is this is something you will find all throughout mythological storytelling.
Yeah.
The fucking Morrowind, again, even and it's not like it hasn't been done before in video games. Morrowind's entire story is that mythological. So you are the reincarnation of the first era Dunmer general in Doriel Nerevar. Now, one thing about Elder Scrolls games, and you know this if you played them, is you can pick
Hmm.
from a variety of races. And different
Yep.
races come from different places in Tamriel, right?
Yeah.
So if I choose a Breton, how the fuck can I be Nerevar's incarnation, right?
Yeah.
Well, the story actually makes it to where the Nerevarine is an outlander. And this literally got forgotten on purpose by racist wise women who didn't like the fact that it was a non-Dunmer. And so they lost the prophecy, which they tell through oral storytelling on purpose, so that that prophecy would get lost. And so they wouldn't have to talk about that because they didn't like that fact. And so you
Yeah.
being a Breton, Nerevarine, actually makes sense in the storytelling, or an Argonian, or a Khajiit. You want to really throw fucking Dagothar's ass for a loop? Show up in Red Mountain as a fucking Khajiit, like, and watch him be like, "Oh,
Like what?
come Nerevar, come, and let us make war council to." Oh, oh no, I didn't expect this.
Not a Khajiit.
uh, yeah, there's
Yeah, that's
exact.
insane.
Yes.
That's insane.
Oh, there's a great video that uses AI to do Dagothar's voice work too. It's fucking great, dude. Like they literally like it's like, oh, and he's like, what does he say? It's so bad. Like he's like, he tells he's like, I know you're looking at me with that glazed over look in your eyes, so let me put this in terms that even you can understand. Take those clown feet and lumber on out of here. Like something like that. So,
Oh man, I
and it
wish.
and it
Yeah,
makes sense for Dagothar's character because Dagothr is a Dunmer supremacist who basically wants to kick everybody out of Morrowind except Dunmer, and then basically extend the blight throughout Tamriel, and eventually turn everybody into these fucking flesh monsters, including the Dunmer. He is awful. Um, but it's the point is that these are games, these are other video
yeah.
games
These are games.
that
Yeah,
basically take the same track of taking that mythological storytelling to its natural conclusion. It was done all throughout mythological storytelling and legendary storytelling. Why not have it in a video game? The second thing I will tell you is I actually have an original Kuniyoshi watercolor hanging on one of my walls. Did you know that? I will share it at the
nope.
end of this stream. Actually,
Oh, okay,
I'll post a picture of it now. I've
okay.
actually got it right here on the computer. This is an authentic Kuniyoshi, which is one of the greatest artists of the Edo period. Okay. And check this out, chat. You guys are going to love this. And I need to post this to kind of make a point on this because this is true. We're going to paste that and pull that picture up. Grab that picture and look at that. Do a grab. It's in our Discord window. You pull that
Let
up
me
for
see.
everybody, and I'll zoom in. There it is. That hangs on my wall. That's an authentic Kuniyoshi. And you'll notice the sword hilt that's coming in, right? You notice that side sword hilt there. And there's another sword on the belt on the side here. Now, do you know who that is?
Zia show. No, no, I don't. I don't
Nope.
know.
That is a retainer.
A retainer. Yeah.
It's a retainer, and it's a woman retainer. That's a woman
and
samurai.
this is a real
That's how authentic
Kuniyoshi,
that is from
an
19.
authentic
That is from
Kuniyoshi,
1843. That was painted.
and people are really talking about.
That's my
Uh,
that's my point, homie. So yes,
yeah,
there's your female protagonist. Please, by
exactly.
all means, shut the fuck up, please,
That's insane.
please.
Just
Um,
let games be games. I think.
yeah.
Just let games be
Well,
games. They're just
especially when you don't have the history right.
yeah.
Like, like,
I don't know. So maybe they just did it because they knew they would get clicks or something,
yeah.
and I don't know. Maybe they don't. At the end of the day, you don't really know if they even care or not. Maybe they never even played an Assassin's Creed game ever, and they're just bringing it up because
Possible. I like
for
to try.
some
I
some
like to
for clicks
try
or something.
unless they do something weird like the racist shit. I like to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, right? That's why I literally put
Yeah,
out a call. I said, "Hey, anybody who has the opposite position of me on this, I want to talk to you, and I'll give them a good faith conversation. Fuck, they might even change my mind. I don't think they will. But talk to me. Yeah, absolutely, talk to me, man.
yeah. I
Like,
think most of the time when people want to have that conversation, they just don't want to have the other people don't want to have the conversation. The one that had something negative to say about it or
well,
something, right?
and
When
you know the thing I'm constantly saying because it's fucking true is it's okay to be wrong, man. And maybe that's why I'm not
yeah,
afraid to have these conversations because it's okay to be wrong. If I'm wrong and you can show me that I'm wrong, I'll change my mind. I'm doing it on the fucking GameCube live right now. Like I'm in real time, one game at a time, changing my mind on GameCube. Fucking Metroid Prime, Pikmin, now Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, which is a banger game, bangerang fucking game. So I'm not afraid to change my mind. I just wish other people were as
yeah,
open to it, you know. Now, what did you see the thing about the AI? Microsoft is now like putting in like this massive arrangement and deal with an artificial intelligence company after they just fired over 6,000 people, and they're going to
yes. I
bring.
just saw
Yes.
I saw that on X saying how it was very suspicious or convenient how they just fired those 6,000 people and now they're trying to work with an AI company. And it's kind
Man,
of like, well, it just looks so bad.
this
It just
I'll tell you, man.
that
I'm glad I've got my Switch between all the fucking culture warring going on, between the way these companies act, giving middle fingers to their employees, to their customers, between all the live service garbage, the half games on a cart or no games on a cart. With all this fucking bullshit, I am so fucking glad I've got my Nintendo Switch bunker like filled up and ready because like I am ready for a gaming crash at this point, buddy. I guess my question are, as a fellow collector, are you ready for a gaming crash?
yeah, I think yeah, if it ever does happen, I think I'd definitely be set. 'Cause that's one of the things that whenever I'm collecting, I'm noticing because there are some Switch games that require the online like the Metal Gear collection and
Yeah,
how
yeah,
if
fuck
you want
Code
to play
Heavy
the
for
rest of the
that. Oh
games,
my
it's
god.
that's one of those games. And I mean I did buy it, but that was last year when I was just doing stuff like that. But I've definitely been better now and paying a lot more attention to um games that have the cart with all the updates and stuff like that, like Orbology. She's mentioned
Hmm.
some games that are full in the cart. And I was like, all right, so if I do get this game, I know I'm gonna get the full game and there's no download required or something like that. Or
Right.
other YouTubers that that say like, all right, so if
Do
you're
you
getting
do
this
you
game,
follow Nintendo Revised?
no,
You should. Nintendo Revised literally has a spreadsheet of all complete Nintendo Switch games that
and
they've
that's
tested.
on X.
It's on X. Yeah, I'll shoot you a link when we get done here. Yeah,
Okay,
Nintendo
yeah,
Revised is an amazing resource for that, and he keeps it updated. So if a game gets a patch later on, he marks it as no longer complete on disk. So the only games that make his cut on is complete on disc. And keep in mind, some of those patches are minor, and you can completely play without them. Right, 100% you
yeah,
can play without them. So you got to keep that in mind. Like I had Nintendo Revised on for one of our Liquored Up lives, and we talked about that. And I said I'm not really looking for a complete on cart game. I'm looking for a complete experience on game. So if your game
yeah,
can't run without a million and one fucking patches, it runs like hammered shit without it. I'm not interested in having the game because I only buy physically. But if your
yeah,
game can work well, and like my bar is like The Witcher 3 or Doom 2016. Like
yeah,
if where it's not going to run perfectly like it would on say PC, but I bought it for the on the go effect. I don't expect a perfect conversion. I expect it to
yeah.
be fun and feel good to play. As long as it does that, I'm good to go.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing. Yeah, because I picked up I recently picked up Jump Force on the Switch. Now the cutscenes are kind of like really choppy because it's not really meant for I guess portability or something. I think
Right.
it initially, I mean, it was released on the main consoles, right? But when it comes to the actual gameplay, it plays pretty good, like smoothly, right? And I
Sure.
think for me, I think that's kind of like what matters, right? As long as I can play the game, right? And I'll play it. I don't care if the kind of like the cutscenes are a little bit choppy, but if the gameplay is pretty smooth, which I was kind of impressed because I wasn't thinking, when it comes to like fighting games like that, um, I kind of just save it for the PS5, right? But the I mean, it's like a I don't know what you would call it, like a brawler or something or something like that. That game ran surprised me and it ran pretty smooth, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow, this one actually it's kind of like near Automata. How they say like that's like
Great
one of the
port.
most perfect Switch ports, and it plays really smooth. And I've
Can't
never played it on other consoles, so I was introduced when I played it on the Switch, and it plays really good. Like it was meant for the Switch. So
I'm really excited to dive more into that one. Like, but it's smooth as smooth as a smooth as a smoother. We'll say. I've been
yeah,
trying.
yeah, no, yeah, me too. I've been I know we didn't ask, but I
Yeah.
had
Well, yeah.
myself.
Yeah. What you having tonight?
I had some cazadores reposada.
Oh, that sounds good.
Had me a glass right here, but before that, I had drank me a Cayman Jack's Paloma. So
I ended up tonight with a VSOP, not VSOP, sorry, XO cognac. It was Hennessy XO. is what I ended up drinking
Oh,
tonight. A
oh,
little bit,
that sounds smooth.
little bit of Hennessy XO. Very good. Very, very
Oh
good.
yeah,
It's my favorite of the XOs, and one of the cheaper ones, by the way. That's what I'm saying, because a lot of XOs are get stupid expensive with cognac. But the Hennessy XO actually is like compared to Clairvoyant or something of that nature. It's very cheap, about half the price. So yeah, if you want to
yeah.
try a real smooth XO and you're a fan of cognac, strongly recommend the Hennessy XO. If you've got the scratch for XOs, it won't cost you more than $230.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I had to drop you. Yeah, it's
Now I'll stick to the tequila or Jack Daniels or something.
are
Um,
you a tequila fan?
yeah, I really I guess yeah, I would pretty much put myself as a tequila guy. So
One thing you've
when
got to
I'm
try before you die is Don Julio 1942.
on Julio
It's an
1940.
añejo. Here, I'll post a picture of the bottle in chat here. Let me look it up real quick. I've got one here, but I'm not gonna go grab it. I'm just gonna post a picture of the bottle because the bottle's fucking gorgeous too.
Oh, I think I've tried this one already. It's
If it's
the really the
amazing.
pointy.
Yep, the big,
Uh,
tall, pointy bottle. Yep, with Van Halen.
yeah,
And it's an
I think I've
aged tequila. It's like the bourbon of tequilas. It's wonderful.
yeah, that one I remember. Um, I remember drinking it, and I just don't remember afterwards. So
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's what tequila's good for. It'll get
it's
you.
a yeah. Most
Tequila
of the
gets you
time, I
fucked.
think yeah, that one. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah. When we've had like parties or something
Well,
like that, somebody will always bring one of those. So
here's the amazing thing about the 1943 though, or 1942. You will avoid the hangover with that because it's very high quality.
yeah, I
No
think that's
hangover.
what that's yeah, I think that's one of the ones that I was kind of surprised that night. And I'm like, wow, I'm actually fine the next day, right?
That's why I drink
So
Blanton's
it's
bourbon.
probably
Yeah, no hangover.
yeah, it's probably why, huh? But
Mhm.
I do remember having that one. Well, I remember the bottle definitely. So
So did you see the report that did you see that leak that Midori put forward for the Nintendo Switch as one of its first big games?
uh,
Yeah,
I don't think
that just came out. So um it's codenamed Banquet and it looks like a Mario Party.
a Mario Party, a new Mario Party.
A new Mario Party, but a big one. Not like this four boards, but like multiple boards, multiple new mini games, like a big Mario Party. Now, Mario Party sold, I think Super Mario Party sold 20 million copies on the Switch. And Mario Party Superstars, which is the better game, by the way. Sorry, guy, that is the better game. Sold 11 million copies, but it came out way after. So, given those
Yeah,
sales, how do we feel about Mario Party being kind of a sleeper system seller for the Switch too?
I think I think it would definitely. Well, I guess it all depends on how they do the game, right? Because
Right.
I mean at first I will say I did kind of enjoy Super Mario Party, but probably the only reason why was because I mean I had the when I had on the Switch, it was only Joy Cons, so I didn't know you couldn't play it portably until well I mean I don't even own a Switch Lite, so I didn't know that was the only way you could play Super Mario Party until later on. And then when Superstars came out, I was like, well, the nostalgia, the old boards are on there.
Uh huh.
You know, everything's there. But I really thought they were gonna. Well, from what they said, they were gonna continue supporting it and
And
adding
they
more
didn't.
stuff to it. I don't think they never added stuff.
No, no,
So
we got stuck with four fucking boards, man. Even still, it's the better
yeah,
game, but yeah, it left a bad taste in my mouth for sure.
yeah, that was probably the only issue
One hundred
was that they
percent.
never added more. I definitely wanted um, the cowboy level from Mario Party 2 to come back
Cowboy
with
board is
the
the best board. Not even
yeah,
close.
and then they should have kept the the outfits too when they introduced it on the second Mario Party 2. I think that would have been even better
That's
too. But
true because every board they also were in different outfits. That's fucking true, man.
yeah, every board had their own on Mario in Mario Party 2. They had their own outfits. So That was another thing I thought they were gonna do, but I guess not. I guess it's harder or something, but
Well,
I don't know.
Nintendo, yeah, Nintendo sometimes they get in that corner cutter mode, and it's just sad when they do that because, like, honest to God, like Mario Party Superstars could have been the Mario Party to end all Mario parties, and they just didn't care enough. They probably figured, hey, we already made our money with the other Mario Party, the shit Mario Party, and so we'll just kind of ride our laurels and won't spend any more money. Nintendo is a very conservative company in terms of how they spend their money. Like they really are, and sometimes that bites us, and that sucks.
Yeah, maybe releasing a Mario Party game with the new system might even get more people to want to buy it. I guess because Mario Party's for everybody, so
Yeah, and
it
that's the thing.
might do really good.
Yeah,
So
Nintendo's mission is to make games ages 5 to 95. So I think Mario Party definitely scratches that itch, and that's not me. That's not me. That's
no,
Nintendo.
yeah,
Like
it is.
that's fucking
They
Nintendo's
they
wild
definitely they did that with the Wii. So I think that one
thing.
they
Uh
did
huh.
really good with the Wii
Oh, I love
when
the
they
Wii, man.
introduced. Yeah,
I
when the Wii was out, I grew, like I said, I grew up with 360 and PS3, and the Wii was kind of like, nah, you don't want to get any. There's nothing good on the Wii
Yeah, they
because at
lied to
that
you.
time,
They lied to
yeah, I
you.
know, yeah, and I was naive, back then it was all about like Call of Duty, and I was on the 360, so like Gears of War, or on the PS3, God of War, stuff
Sure,
like that.
sure.
I mean,
No, I get it.
that's what everybody was into, right? So I really saw the Wii as like a kid's thing. Like, nah, I'm a teenager now, so I don't want to play the Wii.
Well, and
And
until the
then
Nintendo
also,
Wii, I got to tell you, I agree with you because I wasn't even in gaming at that point. I set a whole generation out where I'm just like, yeah, I'm into girls now, and I don't think they would appreciate the Mario picture on my wall, so that got traded in for some other shit. I'm not gonna lie,
yeah, and
typical teenager stuff.
and at the time, that's another thing that was kind of weird, right? It's like nowadays, it's kind of like, well, now it's more accepted now, right? It's like more normal that
For now, it
like
is.
grown ups, it's like, hey, you like video games? Like, yeah, I mean, everybody plays video games, but back then it was kind of like, nah, if you play video games, you're still
Yeah,
like you're a
no
kid or something, right? It was like like a
social stigma.
like a line or so. Yeah, so it was like, nah, I can't play that. I mean, I play Call of Duty and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I don't play Mario anymore.
Well,
That's for
and
little
it's
kids.
in gaming in general, outside of like you said, sports games, some of the bigger shooters, but in general, there was for most of gaming's history, there's been a massive social stigma with gaming, and that's kind of my ultimate message with all this shit going on. Is we've worked very very hard, including things like the Wii and the Switch, to in handhelds in general, to expand the market and get more gamers in than just young adult male gamers, which have been gaming's bread and butter from the beginning.
Yeah,
And my thing that I will say to everybody about all this caterwauling and all this shit going on is, please don't scare the normies. Please don't erase all that progress of getting all these brand new customers into this hobby, because some of this shit is gonna scare them right the fuck out of here, man. It is. I've
yeah,
seen it happen before, man. It's normies. Like every I've floated some of these controversies, these gaming controversies, to some of my normie buddies who don't play video games, and they look at me with the goofiest fucking expression. Like they're like, "Really? That's an issue?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's an issue." They're like, "Yeah, like, yeah, fucking gamers haven't changed at all, have they?" And I'm like,
no.
"Ooh, damn!" Like,
But I mean, I think now it's still, well, like with Mario Party, like if it is true, everybody kind of knows about Mario Party,
right?
even if you didn't play it, right? So it's kind of like, all right, so if they introduce a new console, the
I
Switch
think
to
it's a
Six
good
or
one.
whatever,
Yeah,
it's a good one, right? I think it's a good introduction because it's like everybody can play it, right?
me
Everybody knows
too, man.
Mario Party, everybody knows Mario, or Call of Duty for the. I don't even think the next gen for like PS5 and Xbox Series is coming out, but everybody knows Black Ops. I grew up playing Black Ops, so it's like I haven't played Call of Duty since Modern Warfare remake, or the new one, the reboot. Because I kind of feel like it just changed everything. But with
Well,
Black Ops, I guess 6 is coming out. It's kind of like I don't know. I might get into Black Ops because I loved Black Ops. I loved World at War. So
well, I'll tell you what excited me about the deal with Call of Duty with Activision with Nintendo isn't even so much the fucking new games because again, most of those are going to be fucking content roadmap, fucking live service nonsense shit. You know how I feel about that shit. But
yeah,
what excited me is the potential to get the old games, Call of Duty 2 on the Switch, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare on the Switch, Call of Duty Big Red 1 on the Switch. Can you fucking imagine Big Red 1? One of the best
yeah,
fucking single player shooters of all time, and I don't care what anybody says. I adored Big Red 1 on the PC. Adored that fucking game.
yeah. They needed. I think they. That's another thing. It's like they definitely need to make a lot of these um available on the consoles because I mean I know all of those are available on PC, right? But not everybody has a PC. Um, like on consoles, I think those
Well,
games should
yeah.
definitely be available for
Imagine
everybody. You know, because
imagine Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare on the fucking go in the ghillie suit and shit.
oh yeah, those were the days, man. Those I started off with 360, and then eventually I got a PS3. So I had both systems simultaneously. But you know, I always see those jokes. It's like, oh, these kids can never handle the 360 lobbies back then. You know, they're not the same or something like that. In Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4, and Modern Warfare 2 were like the days where people
Oh
were just
yeah, well yeah,
like it's just like put your money where your mouth is and show me your cake, like show me how it's done or whatever,
I do feel like these kids are soft these days, man. They're soft as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
On in these lobbies, like I do agree with that. And by the way, some of the most crazy fucking dressing downs I've ever gotten in gaming lobbies was like playing like Return to Castle Wolfenstein, the multiplayer mode where you can like bomb people and shit on PC, and like was from like a fucking 12-year-old kid. This was absolutely a 12-year-old kid. Getting yelled, literally his mom yelled at him because he wasn't taking the trash out. He was supposed to have taken the trash out. And so
Oh yeah.
this kid is just chewing the fuck out of me. This kid is talking some of the most epic level shit you've ever heard in your life. And it's like, all right, mom, I'm coming.
Yeah, that's always the ones that have their that sounds like they're muffling their mic or something, like they got their mouth right in their mic or something. Those are always the ones.
Well, that's what
I
I told
think
him.
the closest
I
thing.
told him. I said, well, I said, hey, I think your mom needs you. Better go get the trash. He said, shut up, bitch. It's a 12-year-old kid, man. Savage.
Yeah, I think the closest thing that I think nowadays is so I play um if anything I probably the thing I play the most is like fighting games. So
Right.
like I play like Dragon Ball Fighters and Mortal Kombat, like Mortal Kombat 1. That's probably the closest thing to like lobbies that are like that too nowadays for me because I got my PS5 like the middle of last year. I got the Spider-Man PS5 and the first game I got on there was when Mortal Kombat 1 released, and the lobbies were like toxic. Like they're like, I didn't know you had to press the button to mute yourself because I guess they're all automatically on. So in my mind, I'm over here talking to myself because I'm over here like, oh man, he got me or some this, and then some kid just starts talking mad trash. I'm like, he heard me. So apparently the light has to be on for your voice to be muted. And I thought if the light was on, it was muted. So, but those lobbies, they
I
get
remember popping
crazy.
in one lobby, and it's like, again, this is back when I was into multiplayer gaming. Very briefly, this is probably yeah. If I was around Return to Castle Wolfenstein, whatever era that was. You lose track when you're a PC gamer. You lose track of the eras. But I'm guessing that was Xbox original. I think is Return to Castle
Origin.
Wolfenstein, like original Xbox PS2. Yeah.
It sounds like one of those like when like the original Halo came out
Hmm.
and they had multiplayer like that. That's what
Yes,
it
exactly.
um
But we didn't have Halo on the PC back then. Y'all are spoiled now. On the PC, Halo was only on Xbox, so we didn't have Halo there.
it,
We had
it
Wolfenstein.
was.
Yes, Halo.
I
Yeah,
I
Halo. It took Halo years to get to the PC, man.
That's insane because the first time I played Halo was on PC, and I
Well,
thought that's where it came from.
that was back. No, that was back when Microsoft actually fucking believed in console exclusives. Yeah, Halo and Halo 2 were only on Xbox, only. Um,
Yeah, I didn't know that.
yes. Um, and again, chat always correct if wrong, but I'm 99.9% certain, especially with Halo. Halo 1 was an Xbox thing. I remember that because I couldn't play it on PC. I played Wolfenstein on PC. In order to play Xbox, I had to go to my friend Mark's house, who was one of the best, by the way, one of the best Halo players in the country at that time, went by the handle Semper. And made us look like clowns every time we fucking played, man. But we would have to go and get his Xbox to play Halo. So that's how I know that. Because
Man,
I had a good
that's
PC.
insane.
I did not have I did not have an Xbox that I had ready access to. My dad had the Xbox, but my thing was the PC back then. And
Yeah,
I
that's why I say because it's like the Xbox original always seemed to me like an adult console. You know, because
I
even
love
I
that
don't I had
controller,
a
that giant ass Duke controller. I
the
love
Duke
that.
controller.
It was
Yeah, I
called the
just figured
Duke.
like no, well,
Yeah, I love
it's
the
like
Duke.
nah, this is for like big people's hands. So I'm like I
This
can't
is
even
a
play.
man's console, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like I can't even play this because you know what I saw advertised on there was always like mature games, you know, and then the PlayStation and Nintendo there was always like games for everybody, you know.
Well, that fucking changed with GTA 3 though, like we were talking about the other day.
Yeah,
Fucking GTA dropped like a fucking meteor on the landscape, man. Which was another one of
yeah,
those
it
first
definitely did.
dumbass gaming controversies with like the hot coffee shit. Remember that?
Yeah,
There was this
yeah.
huge controversy about like a sex scene that you couldn't even fucking get to without a cheat menu. Get the fuck out of here, you bunch of losers. Again,
Yeah, that
I'm as constant as the Northern Star. Chill, just play and enjoy video games.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah,
is
I
the
think
game
yeah, that
fun? Then play the game.
yeah,
Yeah,
play the
hot
game, just play
coffee
the
and all
game.
that. Yeah, I remember that. I'll never forget like the fucking they were pulling that fucking game off store shelves, man. Like
And that one was what was it called?
San Andreas, I think.
Unreal.
Yeah, it was. Well, there was Unreal too.
Yes,
Unreal had a
and
real controversy. That was where you could
I
stab someone with a fucking spoon.
yeah, I remember playing Unreal Tournament. I had Unreal Tournament 2 on
Dude,
PlayStation
Unreal
2.
Tournament is
I
amazing.
had that was one of the I think one of the first ones that when I got introduced to like first person.
Hmm.
Um and I couldn't even get I went to Game Crazy and they were like, "No, you got to have somebody that's 17 years older to buy you this game or something." So I
Yeah,
had to go get my sister
ours wasn't Unreal
to
Tournament
go with
2
me.
on PC. It was Unreal 3 Tournament. It was called. And I think that
Oh
was the
man.
first Unreal Tournament, actually. Even though it's called Unreal 3 Tournament, I think your game came next. Because it was Unreal
Yeah.
Tournament 2. Yeah, I think it was the sequel to Unreal 3 Tournament. And see, Unreal 2 was the game with the fucking Strog, right? It was a great shooter with the Strog, the PC. Unreal 3 Tournament was Unreal, but it was multiplayer. That was the first multiplayer only Unreal. So it was only multiplayer. But
Yeah, because
oh, it
this
was
one
so good.
it was only multiplayer, but like with however many ports, like two player multiplayer split screen, and then
Nice.
computers, right? So that's how I was playing it. I was just playing it against like computer computer bots or whatever, and I enjoyed it. Right, that was before I even got introduced to online until I got the 360,
Right.
and I played Gears of War online for the first time,
Oh, dude,
and
Gears of War
that's
was a
how I was.
blast. Gears of War was a blast online.
It was. That was probably
I played that at my
that's
buddy B. Rye Brian's house. We used to play yeah, old B. Rye Brian Turner.
that's where I made like one of my like my first online friends was on Gears. We met through Gears and then we transitioned over to like Halo 3. And we stayed buddies for like the longest until, you know, I sold my
Right.
Xbox,
No,
but that's where
we ran a league on Gears of War. We were TFL Team Flatline, and we ran a
yeah.
league. We weren't major huge or anything. Like we never ranked, but we had fun doing it. But I was real. Believe it or not, you're gonna laugh. My proficiency was in the basic ass pistol you start with, just a pistol. And what I would do is I would hit you twice, and then like I was Gonzo, so I'd do like road running. I would pop up. I would either hit pop and then down you with a weapon butt because that did a lot of damage,
Yeah,
believe it or not. Or
yeah,
I
yeah,
would I would run up, pistol whip you, then quick aim and hit you in the head and pop your head like a grape. The pistol
yeah.
was
That
it was a lethal weapon, homie.
it was, especially that was one of the first games where I kind of like realized there, like you can be competitive in, like there's tactics to stuff.
Yes.
Because the guys that I was chatting with, I literally bought a mic the next day after I found out that you can connect your Ethernet cable to your Xbox,
Okay.
and I started playing online. And they were teaching me stuff. They were like, "Oh no, like if you want to get to this weapon on the right side, crouch, keep crouching, and kind of like wall bounce, like get fast as you can. This is the fastest way you can do it." And that's how I kind of learned all these like tricks and stuff. And I always hated when they pistol whip me, that move that you're talking about, because it was just like it would be like instant. I'm like, how, dude? Like,
Well, it
how are
stuns you.
you?
Yeah, it stuns them instantly. So you hit him with the
Like, I didn't
pistol whip, and
understand it.
then you quick aim, and if you quick aim in the right place, you're basically beating right onto their head. And after you pistol whipped them, you've done enough damage for the next shot to pop the head. So it was literally a two shot
Yeah,
kill.
yeah, yeah. And that's what kind of like sparked my that definitely was like the spark of my like online um introduced to console online console play or whatever.
Right.
And then from there I had gone over to Halo, which was like the majority of my 360 days, pretty much
See,
Halo
Halo I
Forge.
loved when I would play with Mark. I loved Halo, but the thing is, like when you play with somebody that is that much better than you, like the real fun to be had is when we went online and fought other people. Because yeah, there was no fucking way. Like I still to this day never beat him. Like he was so
Yeah,
fucking good.
I definitely had a buddy like that too, who was like always better than me at Halo. But that was kind of like the fun part, where it's like I kind of wanted to get as good, or if not, it's better than him. And eventually, it did get to that because we were kind of like, um, well, at the time they had I didn't even think about ranked matches. They had ranked matches, and they had this helmet that you could unlock if you reached a certain rank, I think, or if you did something, which was the Hayabusa armor. And I always wanted to get. I'm
Oh
like,
shit!
how'd you get the Hayabusa armor? And it's like, oh well, you got to do this. You got to be ranked and all this. And I'm like, all right, well, I got so good that I finally got the Hayabusa armor.
Ninja
And we were
Gaiden,
like,
yeah,
we
Ninja
were we
Gaiden is
were
one I'm excited about to play on Switch. I've never played it.
yeah, we were doing doubles, and then eventually we got to like we were just doing ranked all the time. We're like, hey, you want to do doubles? And then we just started doing doubles on ranked or
No,
Slayer or SWAT. And then eventually, after we kind of like got tired of ranked or competition, we just kind of just messed around in Forge mode with a bunch of friends, just messing around custom games all day.
right.
That's what that was. That's where we really had our fun, just messing around on there.
Oh,
Especially because at
all
that
Rockets
time,
was a
just
hoot too. All fucking Rockets was a blast.
yeah, like at that time, that's when also Halo, like I mean, YouTube was promoting, like all these channels were coming out with Halo content, and they're like,
Did
oh,
you ever
custom
watch
games, and
Red versus Blue?
yeah, like Rooster Teeth, Red versus Blue, they would always have like these like those bits right in the game when they'd be like, oh, you ordering some burgers or some fries or something like that, and then there would be like other channels that were parroting those channels, and it was like, you know, it was like Robot Chicken Halo. I don't know if you ever heard or seen of those channels, but it was like called Robot Chicken Halo, and they were just doing bits like
That's awesome.
Robot Chicken style through
Nice,
Halo,
fucking nice.
and it was just like
Well, yeah,
that. That's what
because
kind of
it
like
was the whole thing that you could make the heads move slightly, so
yeah,
you
and
can
it was
emulate and simulate talking. Yeah,
exactly. It was before like they finally started doing like CGI and all that in the game and stuff. It was just like
right.
all in game, all in
Hmm.
engine. So
Yeah, it was awesome. So, all righty. Well, shit, I got to get to a softball game, but I want to give you an opportunity. Do you have any questions for me before we head out?
no, I'm pretty good. I had a good time.
Oh, we're
Thank
gonna
you for
have.
having me.
Oh, fuck yeah, we're gonna have to make it another time, man. You're gonna have to come back.
Definitely.
Because like I
Oh
said,
yeah.
I could continue this for ages. You know how I am.
Oh yeah, Zoo.
So alrighty, let's see here. Let's look at the chat. Super chats said, "What's up, guys? I can't really chat driving home. We're gonna catch up on this one now. Nice, Caesar, and hope it's been entertaining. We aim to please." And then Brick Barnes says, I finally got Paper Mario Thousand Year Door yesterday delivered from Walmart. Really love the one. It's one of my favorite. Been playing since yesterday. Yeah, Brooke, I'm digging it too. I'm in the castle now. I just got to the castle. Um, I love the badge system. The badge system on that's really kind of cool. Um,
Mhm.
and I didn't realize because I'd played Bug Fables, The Everlasting Sapling, which is a Paper Mario like, and I didn't realize how much of that. I knew it was inspired by Paper Mario, but shit, it's basically they took a lot of the best ideas and just threw them in there, man.
Yeah, that's one of the games that I kind of been looking for the collection, Bug Fables, and I know at some point they sold it at Best Buy, but I just never was able to find it. And I'm pretty sure now it's
It's
maybe aftermarket. It's a little bit more expensive, right? But
it's worth it.
um,
It's great.
I heard, yeah, I heard it takes a lot from not just the art style, but pretty much um, Paper Mario.
Yeah, and if you're a fan of Paper Mario, I don't know. We're gonna see what the Thousand Year Door has to offer, but I saw Bug Fables as the perfection of that formula. So we'll see if Paper Mario can reclaim its own throne, essentially. Because I fucking love Bug Fables. I'm a Bug Fables like evangelist. It's great. For sure. Are you playing Thousand Year Door? Have you played Thousand Year Door Chill? What do you think of the game?
No, I've honestly never played Thousand Year Door, but how we were talking about GameStop deals, so I'm actually gonna be taking two games hopefully soon, because they're doing like a $50 boost. So like if you trade in two of these
Nice.
games on the list, you get $50 off of that game. So it's like gonna be like $20 or $10 or whatever. So I'm just gonna be taking some scraps or whatever and getting the game for cheap as possible, right? So that's the
Right.
whole thing is try to get it as cheap as possible.
Perfect, man. Well, hey, like I said, this has been a fantastic introductory discussion for you. We will definitely have you back for a second round. I do have one last question for you, Chill. Chill, did you have fun?
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely had fun. Thanks, man. Thanks, you.
Fantastic. Another comment came through here. It says, I really don't care if graphics are 30 frames per second or 16 frames per second. The graphics don't matter to me at all. True, Brooke.
Yep.
100% true. Um,
Yep.
I again, don't make me post a meme. The meme is there's a game facts or not game facts. Why did I say game facts? That's the message board form. There's a GameStop employee talking to a woman and saying, "But this game doesn't have 60 FPS and 180 refresh rate and 4K," and she's like, I don't understand a word you just said. I just needed to play Mario Kart." Like once again. So again, Brooke, I'm as constant as the Northern Star. Is the game fun? Then just fucking play the fucking game.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Exactly. You
all
just
this bitch baby shit about 60 FPS or refresh rates or resolution. Is the fucking game fun or not? You know,
yeah.
I'm
Like
gonna have the same answer for every gaming controversy. I'm gonna have the same answer for.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Definitely.
All righty. Well, we'll go ahead and we'll let everybody get to the rest of their Friday night. I'm probably gonna hit the sack. Stay on with me for a little bit. We'll have like a last little denouement though, but um,
All right.
and Brooke says, "Get get out. Yeah, get over it, people. Yeah, get over. Seriously, get the fuck over it. Like seriously,
Yeah.
it's the game fun. Then shut the
Yeah.
fuck
The
up and
game's
play the.
fun. It's fun.
Yes.
Like Sifu's really fun. I think that's a
Oh,
good
I can't
example.
wait for
Sifu would
Sifu. I
be
can't wait for
Sifu.
Sifu. Yeah, I got Sifu on the backlog. It's on my 450 fucking game long backlog.
Yep.
Should I
It's
move?
definitely a game
Should I
worth
move?
checking out.
Okay, so I should move Sifu up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I have it on the Switch, but
Me too.
I think I might get it for the PS5. But Either way, on the Switch it runs really good too. So
Okay.
another good port, I guess I would say.
Fantastic. All righty. Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to let everybody go. And yeah, you're very welcome, Brooke, anytime. Like I said, I love to do these when I can. I love to do these when I can. If I didn't enjoy them, I wouldn't do them. People fucking know me when I say that. That's true. So, all righty. Well, take care, guys. Enjoy your Friday night. Get the fuck out of here.